everyone here and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host Tom Kwei here. I am joined by, one of the most exciting newcomers in UK battle rap since Bobby Rex, since Scoop, since that sort of crop. This guy, I don't think he battled this time last year. He's been on this fairy tale story of the academy that we're going to get into, and normally on the show I try and have slightly more seasoned, been doing it for a few years, whatever. But in this case, I adore this quintet of battles culminating with the Academy final with LSDean. Someone like Major Concerns is just a fantastic writer. Really what I've been craving personally as a fan of UK battle rap. Some, God to honest punching that we don't really get as much over here anymore. So with that said, my guest is Major Concerns. How's it going, Major?
Yeah, what's going on, Tom? What's going on, guys? Oh, man, that was a fucking quality introduction, man. Throw me in the same group as, Bobby and Scoop and that means so much, dude. Thank you so much for having me on, man. Excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, you're comparable, obviously Bobby triumphant in the final there, but, for those people who maybe aren't necessarily as aware, Major might be like a Red Flag or a Dago Davalo, someone you're kind of aware of, is of repute, but maybe haven't checked other battles. Please go check them out. I think we're going to convince you as we go through this episode. There were some awesome clashes here. I'm thinking in particular of your second against Blittz and maybe your first again. I mean, there's so many rounds here to get to. I said to you before the show, I've written 1,000 words on the LSDean battle. I've written this mini most prob dissertation on this battle. I watched it this morning. Obviously, I saw it live as well. But yourself as a battler, then you've been on the sidelines a lot. From what I gather, you've been watching this thing for a long time. Man. How did it start? What were the first battles you watched?
I'm trying to think, I don't know, I remember, getting into, Eddie P and Frisco, when I first started, ages ago. I remember, getting into Blizzard. I'm pretty sure how it started was, when I was in school at the time, I would have been in high school at this point, Don't Flop was kind of it was semi-big, and there was set people who knew about it, and I think it was just a word-of-mouth thing, oh, have you heard this guy? And then, my friend, showed me some battles, and since then, they just kind of started watching the same names, Blizzard and people like that. And then, I just kind of, got, caught in that, hole of just watching fucking shitload of battle rap. And then, since then, man, I've just been hooked. So I've just been going to, as many events as possible and shit.
So what's the earliest event you went to?
I'm trying to think. I think my very first event was, I think it was Blam in Manchester. And it was, a Halloween event.
Okay,
and the main card, the main event was supposed to be Freddy versus Jason, a concept battle. But it was, I don't know why the club was at this time, obviously, it was super young or something. I can't remember, probably 14, 15 or something like that. And I remember, we were in the venue and everything was sound. I'm pretty sure Bleak was battling that day. I can't remember I'm pretty sure Bleak was there.
Yeah, I remember the card. I've definitely seen the card, yeah.
But yeah, so I was in the venue and everything was sweet, and then I don't know, basically, it sounds so cringe now. I went out to get a snapback off because he was selling the DFD snapbacks. I've still got it in my wardrobe. Fucking shout out me, I had one of the original snapbacks, man. My birch was popping, and I went out to get one, and then the bouncer wouldn't let me back in, saying, it's I'm too young to get in now past this certain time. I was like, what the fuck? I've got a ticket and shit. But so I didn't get to see the main event, but from what I gather, the main event ended up in a choke and shit anyway, so I don't think it was much worth missing. But yeah, that was probably the first event, man. Yeah, it was dope seeing it live.
And in the back of your mind, when you were going to these events, surely everyone else, you were writing bars, you maybe had that urge to perform. I mean, what was the reason for such a long gap? I know some people have been, I think Frost, for example, is another guy,
I don't know, man. I think it was just when everyone writes odd bars when they're growing up and they start watching rap, everyone thinks they can rap and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's probably just a confidence thing. Me and my boys used to just chop it up. We'd just go around to a gaff or whatever, and we'd just smoke and put a beat on and just rap. And all my boys would gas me up yo, you can really rap and stuff like that. But I don't know. It was just, I guess, with the academy, it was just a perfect opportunity. When Don't Flop, I'd say when I started looking okay, let me try and get into this stuff, Don't Flop wasn't the kind of place where you could just go and get a tryout.
Sure.
It was so exclusive at one point, and you'd have to be rated or maybe a word of mouth thing, and they weren't putting on a bunch of tryout events because obviously they didn't need to. The big names they had they were obviously like selling out venues with the big names, so they didn't really have to put on for the new people. But yeah, obviously all that shit with Don't Flop happened, and then obviously King of the Ronalds had like tryouts and stuff like that. But I love fucking King of the Ronalds. Like I love going to the events and stuff. But I think for my first clash, I just didn't think it would it'd be the right kind of vibe to get into. And then I just remember when Premier Battles started, because I'd say when Premier Battles started, like it kind of reignited the flame of me like watching battle rap again. Like I went off it for a long time, and I literally couldn't even just sit there and watch like a full battle. Like if it's like a soul or like a shuffle battle or something, like I could sit there and watch it, but I just wasn't really just like watching it too much. And then the whole academy thing started, and mainly because Premier Battles was doing like loads of events in Manchester, so obviously it was local, it would have been like rude for me like not to go and support. So obviously I just started like supporting Premier Battles, obviously just going to the events and shit, and then yeah, they'd launched the whole academy thing, and I just thought to myself, like, if I don't do it now, like, there's never going to be a better opportunity than this. So, yeah, I thought I fucking just went for it. I didn't know how I would do, and yeah, it turned out fucking alright. I had a fucking awesome year, so yeah, fucking glad I did.
Yeah, and for people who aren't aware, it's kind of a tryout sort of league in Premier Battles, but it's so much more than that. It's a kind of, you know, a real sort of breeding ground for good talent, and sure. I mean, anyone could enter, and so there was like 32 people on the first day in the combine. Was that right, around that number?
Yeah, there was a shitload of people, and I think it kind of worked out in a good way, because I probably wouldn't have tried out otherwise. I was fully under the impression it was supposed to be like for new battlers only.
Yeah, I mean, was there anyone else like you, sorry to interrupt, who
no.
you know, hadn't battled at all? Because ironically, it was all experienced guys in this league.
Yeah, definitely. I think Barnier, I don't think Barnier had battled, and D-Mac, I think it wasn't his first UKBL, clash, but yeah, he had the one on UKBL. I'm trying to think if there was anyone else there.
I don't think so, but I mean, the majority had been on, you know, Dub Scandal, King of the Ronalds, etc.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is fair enough. But yeah, as a thing to go down, personally, I think for myself and a lot of other people, it's so great to see someone we hadn't really seen before come through, you know, this tourney as it was intended. Kind of like when Don't Flop did their sort of tryout batch recently as well. We got to see a lot of newcomers there. But you being given Bombshell.
Real Manchester's my city, and you're spitting in the nest. Think vegan at a dinner party. I'm cooking different for this guest, because Bombshell, what he's spraying is tragic. Go play in the traffic, you're 31 and dirty bomb, ain't radioactive. Said UMC and produce. I said UMC and produce, but still your rating's down. That's because your bars and beats cater for a basic crowd. I'm going to give you some advice, Bomb. You should take it now. When we put Shell to our ear, it should make a wavy sound.
Bombshell, great battler. Bombshell been on the show, Battle Resume 130, great episode. I mean, she's experienced. You'd never battled.
Nah, with Bombshell, like it didn't annoy me, but I thought obviously we were in like an email group kind of, and I saw some of the names that were in there, and I thought, oh shit, like obviously like Kofi, like Riser, you know, all these experienced people, Darper. I thought, fuck, like I hope I don't get them. And then I just didn't expect to get a girl for my first battle, and not that I think I took the Bombshell battle the right way, because I didn't do, you know, 2 rounds of fucking, oh, you're shit because you're a girl, or whatever. Like I didn't treat it like that. I just treated it like, okay, this is just a rap battle, ignore the fact that she's a female type shit. But when I first got it, it did like, I don't know, it kind of like worried me a bit when I first got like the Bombshell, because I just thought like, oh shit, like I'm gonna have to do something completely different because it's a girl. And then in the end I just thought, nah, fuck that, I'm gonna just treat it like a normal battle, and obviously that's what I did. But yeah, it was defo daunting because of how many clashes she had. But obviously, no offense to Bombshell, like obviously she's been doing it for a while, but after watching her, like I thought, of the people I could have got, I got a pretty fucking good draw getting Bombshell, to be fair, because I wasn't super impressed with her, and obviously I'd seen her back in the day. But sometimes though, like even if you're not really good, the experience can just proper like knock you when you're against a new battler and just intimidate someone. So yeah.
Quite rightly at the start of your battle, as was timely, rest in peace Bendtner, you said.
Yeah, man. Shout out Bendtner, man. Bendtner, one of my favourite writers, man. I'm a bit like you, Tom. Like, I just appreciate a good penmanship, man. Sure. Like, I'll literally just like watch like people who can just pen and stuff. So that's why, like, shout out like people like Ellipsis, man. Like Ellipsis, one of my favourites from overseas, man. But yeah, Bender, man, it's just a shame. Unfortunately, never got to meet the guy, so I'm not gonna sit here and talk like I knew him or shit like that. But I was a fan, do you know what I mean? And it's like a fucking Matt Miller died like last year and stuff. Like I'd never fucking met Matt Miller, but I was a huge fan of him and shit like that. Where you just when you know the person, you're not gonna see any more content from them or anything like that, man. It's so fucking shit, man. But yeah. That was shit.
Met Bender briefly and Next in Line 2 with Frankie. We filmed an interview and had a little chat. And yeah, awesome fucking dude. And yeah, one of the greatest ever in terms of penmanship. But Bombshell comes in and treats you like any other opponent. She comes crude, you know, she comes necessarily kind of sexually gruesome. She makes Slit Slippy, she says. Get your marshmallow dick out of my city. Made your cunts earn, which is a very kind of primitive name, Flip. I like it.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Like, you know, on bad bars, like where they find like the shit bars and they'll just read it like just in a sentence and shit. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't too impressed. The one thing I do like now like I'm a bit more experienced is I was laughing and reacting to her shit too much. Yeah, I was being like too friendly and shit like that. And yeah, I learned from like obviously shout out Tox, man. Shout out Tox every time. Like he told me like fucking stop doing that shit because it just makes the crowd look like you're buying into it and the crowd want to react more when the other person's kind of feeling it and shit. So no, I wasn't like super impressed like with her. What really put me off though, I don't know if the video saw it. She had like a marker pen in her hand. And I don't know why. I think it might have been like, I don't know, like an anxiety thing or whatever. And that's obviously like super cool. Like she's obviously got the balls to come and do it because it's fucking bare daunting. But I was like, yo, why is this girl playing with a marker pen? I was just so confused. And I was like, for a whole round, I was just looking at this pen. It was proper putting me off. But yeah, I'm just try not to get distracted like that again if someone else pulls out a pen or something.
I mean, she's not too attacking. I mean, you hadn't really done anything for her to get into, to be fair. Rainbow sprinkles where your corpse lay. I mean, building into your first round then, you know, it's a mad feeling having battled myself, like, you know, when suddenly everyone's looking at you and listening to what you've rehearsed and all the work you've put in this one moment. Like, how did that feel starting to perform there in this battle?
Oh, God, it was like, the levels of fucking stress and anxiety I felt in that moment were fucking ridiculous, man. Like, it was just so, like, I just got there and I just didn't. Obviously, I knew Premier Battles was popping, and I knew loads of Battle fans were in Manchester, but I thought to myself, like, when I was on the way, like, there won't be that many people there, and mainly it'll be the people, obviously, trying out and stuff. But then, looking back on it, it was obvious there was going to be quite a few people there, because like you said, there was like 32 battlers, or however many people it was, and then obviously they're going to all bring at least like 1 + 1 or 2 people, so there was obviously going to be over 100 people anyway, so yeah, it was mad, like, the amount of people that was there, and especially because I didn't obviously go on first or anything like that. Just being in the moment and just kind of like waiting to go on and shit. Like, now I'm used to it, obviously I've done a few battles, now it's cool, but then it was super daunting, but also, like, so once I got in the groove and shit, like, once I got past that fucking stumble, which really pissed me off for doing that, like, yeah, I got into the groove, and obviously people were fucking with me, so, that helped a lot, so.
Well, it's fair to say, I mean, it's a 2-round battle, I should say, it's fair to say that it's kind of night and day between your first and second. There's not really much hitting in your first. It's quite dense, really. I don't think the crowd likes you on your second, though. I think you really gather steam with the flip.
Yeah, definitely. The flip really helped me because I thought, like, if I need to drop something, because although I need something to stand out a bit, and I thought, let me drop a flip because not many tryouts will be dropping flips. Shout out fucking Will Ross for dropping a flip in his battle. That was fucking crazy.
Shout out Ross, man. Crazy.
Yeah, shout out Ross every time.
I was excited. He's the next major concerns, man.
Yeah, legit. Now I hope he smashes this year. I'm pretty confident he will do. But yeah, I just thought not many people are flipping anymore and shit. And I remember, like, when I used to watch battle rap and I used to watch it with my friends, I used to be like, why don't they just freestyle? Like, it seems so easy to do. And then, like, when you're in the moment, it's like, I know this is not fucking easy to do. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I thought I had to drop that just to get a bit of get the crowd like warmed up a bit for my second and kind of recover from the stumble in the first. But yeah, people fucked with that so much. So yeah, very grateful.
Yeah, and the flip is basically, you know, she had said you were fat or whatever, and you said, yeah, I'm fat, but at least my tits aren't as saggy as yours. Tits so saggy they could breastfeed ants as well, you say, which, I mean, you know, huge. It kind of ignites the round. And I don't want to say that her second wasn't good either. Looking cracker. More brain matter in a tractor. She says you work in a bank and you think NWA is an account with NatWest.
Yeah, I mean, it was
there.
It was a fair bar. The thing is like, obviously, like, yous obviously won't know, but back then we never address like a NatWest account as like an NWA, so it's kind of like, I'm just being fucking picky as shit. But like, yeah, at the same time though, like, yeah, it got reaction, I believe, and in my head, I think even I reacted at the time because I thought, oh yeah, that's fucking pretty funny, that. But yeah, she's just such a, I don't even know the word to describe Bombshell. The stuff she comes out with, just like, what the fuck is this girl going on about? You know what I mean? But,
she's got a wild mind, certainly.
Yeah,
and,
for real.
You know, we discussed that on the episode. Go back and listen to that one. And she mentions you did a bar breakdown of YouTube comments. And what was that?
So, okay, so shout out my boy Zook on this. So basically, me and my boy started like a YouTube channel like maybe like a year or two ago, and the whole concept was we used to just fucking just get smoked up, and then we used to just go on, you know, like when you look at like instrumentals on YouTube or whatever, like if you search like any instrumental, there'll always be fucking people in the comments like writing like bars and shit. So I fucking had this dope concept that was, okay, what we'll do, we'll just fucking review people's bars from the YouTube comments and just kind of break them down a bit to what they mean. And yeah, it just didn't really pop off. We didn't really promo it that much. It was fucking shoddy editing and just kind of, it was just something you do.
It's a good idea though.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was a dope idea, but it's just something we put together one night, and then we were kind of like, when we like went home, I was like, oh man, this is really gonna take off. Like, this is a dope idea. No one's doing this shit, and then yeah, it got like fucking 7 views or some shit. But it's so hard building like a brand. Like now, if I did that, I might even get fucking 10 views if I do it now. Do you know what I mean? Because I've got like a few people watching, like, and neither of us had an established brand on YouTube or like on Twitter, and obviously it's all about building yourself up, do you know what I mean? Whereas, say if someone like you did it with all your subs and all your followers, it'd get quite a lot of views, and with those views, it could get shared around and get more, and that's just the thing. I mean, I'll still stand by the concept. I thought the concept was a dope idea, like, but yeah, that's what she was referring to. I don't know if, I think I nuked the channel though, like a few months ago, but I'm not too sure actually. I'll have a look.
I mean, I'm going to be a full-blown battle rap nerd here because I know this information, but I'm pretty sure Danny Jack like used to do a sort of video where he'd rap the verses from the instrumentals.
Really?
Sure. He did like 2 or 3 videos on it about a year ago, so people might know. People might remember, yeah. But I mean, there is a penchant for that. But yeah, the battle goes well for you in the second, as we say. Vegan at a dinner party, cooking different for this guest is nice. And
I thought that would have got more reaction. I really like
some
that
of your
bar
stuff. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, using different as well. In bars is such a powerful word, really. Yeah, it just sort of changes meaning so easily. So yeah, but the battle. I should say as well, probably your best bar is the talking about her music. When I put shell to my ear, it should make a wavy sound.
Yeah. I really love that bar. Yeah. I really love that. Another bar that I had though, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It was like super like, it was a niche reference in that battle, to be fair, and I didn't expect people to get it. But it was something like, yo, I've got it on my notes here because otherwise I won't remember it. But it's something like, yo, my pen nice, toss Hawaiian rocks at writer's block. Don't get it, nerd. Pele's curse. Send shell back to end the bad luck she's given me. So I don't know if you get that reference, but like in Hawaii, there's like a curse where if you take like a shell or a rock back with you back home, you'll get bad luck. So it's kind of like send shell back to give the bad luck she's given.
It just sounded hard, but yeah,
I thought, but after that battle, like I really like spoke to a few people, and they were like, "Yo, even I'm not getting this shit." And like for someone who gets it, it's crazy, but to just the normal battle fan who's not gonna be fucking know about fucking curses from Hawaii and shit and just odd stuff like that. And after the Bombshell battle, like I learned a lot about what you need to like. It doesn't matter how fucking sick the reference is, if no one's gonna get it, it will not get a reaction. So yeah, I learned a lot in 2 rounds, and that it's mad how much you learn from just doing like fucking 2 rounds in a battle.
Yeah. And it's a great battle, and definitely check it out. And it's a a really insightful thing into your development. How was the rest of the day? What battles did you enjoy?
I'm trying to even think what was on the card. DARPA battled iKid, didn't he? I was gassed to see iKid live. DARPA iKid was pretty good, to be fair. I didn't expect it to be like and I think I spoke to DARPA after. Like later on at another event, and he said like he didn't really fully show out for iKid because he didn't need to and stuff, which is a fair point to make, but I just could never imagine I wouldn't take a battle if I didn't feel like I would put in 100% for it, because DARPA iKid on paper, like that could have been like the final in the academy, for example, like like the semi or something, like could have easily been, and but DARPA iKid was good. Kofi battled Ryzer, didn't he? Kofi Ryzer was okay. I think Ryzer had the choke. It's crazy that none of them got through. Like, do you not think like both of those names are like pretty established, and like I fully thought out of everyone on the day, like Kofi and Ryzer, like they're definitely going to get through to the next round. And shout out Premier Battles for like staying true to the word, because they took obviously took a chance on like me and Barnier and putting these names through that like no one had heard of, rather than just putting through, we'll put them through because on a good day they're really good, but today they just had a bad day. They literally went off the performances at the tryout, which I didn't expect them to do, to be fair, because I thought they would just kind of maybe say that it comes down to it on the day, but then obviously they want like a few established names in the mix. And don't get me wrong, there was obviously established names on the later rounds and stuff, but I think they all showed out on the tryout day, so I think everyone that went through deserved to go through. It was dope seeing DMAC live, though. Seeing DMAC live for the first time, that kid's energy is incredible, man. He is so sick.
Well, I mean, we know his energy, from the iKid battle, but we'll definitely get to that. But in terms of the sort of rehearsal, your writing process, like what's the method for you going into battles?
Method going in, like usually, like I'll write, obviously, like like I'm a punchline rapper, like I do punches mainly, so I'll write the punch and then just work backwards to the setup. Anyone who's a decent writer will tell you that the fucking setup is the hardest part of the bar, because I personally like to keep the setups like relevant to the punch, and sometimes it'll cut like when I've got setups written down, they're so hard to just craft, to get like to the decent punchline, because I just hate using setups that just aren't relevant at all. But usually just like obviously look at punches, right? Obviously I do a shitload of name flips. Usually watch like a few of the battles. It's kind of good because of my experience anyway. Like say if now like Blittz, for example, when I got Blittz, I already knew about Blittz and all the shit that like the cringy shit he'd done to write about. So yeah, I guess it kind of just helped being kind of a fan for so long as well, and just knowing like a few bits of ins and outs of information. But yeah, I guess I just try my best just not to like I just want reaction for like every bar, if you know what I mean. And I've had this from a few people that it doesn't always work out in my favor, because I've got some crazy bars, but I'll just do them in like a 2-bar setup or whatever, and then it'll be straight into the next punch. And I don't really give it time to build up to that crazy punch, because in my head I'm thinking, well, each punch is fucking crazy anyway, so each one has the potential to go off. So I might just need to work on that a little bit.
I mean, before we're going to get to the battle towards the end of the episode, but in the LSDean battle, the J Short punch that you have about plagiarism. Like that could honestly have been bar of the battle in my opinion, but it's like you say, it just wasn't sort of angled well, and it wasn't necessarily chosen, but obviously it's still a vintage punch in of itself. So we're down to the last 16 now, you versus Lord Bendtner. You're in Team Tox at this point, ingratiated there, and what did it bring to your game being
man, Tox, that dude, man, I've got so much love for him. Like I've known Tox for a few years. I used to work with Tox like a few years ago and shit, so I already knew Tox, and it was kind of like not a fanboy moment, but like I remember like when I basically got moved on to like the same team as Tox in this job that I did back in the day, and I remember seeing him. I was like, yo, that's definitely Tox, like from like Don't Flop and shit, because I'd just been to the Manny versus London event. And obviously Tox was battling on there with his famous fucking 3-hour rounds or whatever it was. And yeah, I remember going up and I was just like, yo, this is gonna sound stupid weird if it's not right, but yo, do you rap battle? And he just shot me this look like, yeah, do you know who I am? I was like, yeah. So since then, yo, we used to just speak about battle rap at work and shit, and he'd feed me the inside information of like who's battling and shit like that. And yo, so yeah, so obviously when the academy got sorted, I think I shot Tox a message about like I was trying out and shit. And then yeah, I sent him a few bars for Bombshell, and yeah, he didn't critique them crazy because obviously I wasn't on his team at this point. He was just like, you've got some like obviously nice shit in there. But then getting on his team, I think I wouldn't have the performance I have now if it wasn't for being on that team in that environment, especially being around like Tox and D-Mac rehearsing and stuff. Even Dean to a certain extent, because Dean can fucking perform, he's very, very good. Whereas if not, the first thing I got told was, yo, against Bombshell, your writing's good. You don't need to do anything with your writing. You just need to stop being so stagnant in the pit. Like, you need to move around a bit more. And he basically said, he goes, I'm fully confident. And not one person said Bendtner was going to beat me, like, in the Team Talks kind of thing. Obviously, everyone on the forum was like, yo, Bendtner's going to wash him, all that fucking shit. But no one in Team Talks, including Tox, was like, yo, I've not got one worry for you as long as you fucking bark back at this guy, because he's going to try and push you, he's going to get in your face. And true to form, the guy did. Oh, yeah. Because, like, it's one of them, like, from watching him, like, because it was my second battle, I got a bit like, oh shit, like, I was pretty worried going into it, like, yo, if I don't perform, this kid's going to beat me, he's going to be so sick. But the more I watched him, the more I got more confident, like, this guy's pen, like, isn't that good. Yep. Like, shout out Bendtner, he's a dope dude, but his pen, it isn't amazing. And when you get given against a writer and stuff and someone who can really break you down, performance isn't enough. And I said this to him before, I was like, yo, you're going to need to do more than perform. And he just kept saying, yeah, I'm going to. And I remember in the pre-battle like interview we had with like Red Lion, shout out Red Lion, we were kind of speaking about and stuff, and Tox was like, yo, you're going to 3-0 Bendtner, and he came over and, it's not going to be a 3-0, it's not going to be a 3-0, and then obviously it was a 3-0, so it just happens, man. Just don't fucking talk shit before battles if you can't back it up, do you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yo, it's round one. And it's you that I'm starting with. All performance, because I know you can hardly spit. Scream in my face because you went used to the bars and bring your shot to try and win like you're losing an argument. Yeah. They remember, man, you got the littlest heat. You relying on projection like cinema screens, because that's the only trait you got to save your squad, because the dude right poorer. Projection be the death of him. Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and shout out to Bendtner. We were supposed to have him on Battle Rap Resume in the park, but unfortunately couldn't make it in the end. And
he's supposed to battle Scam, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he has some, aggression here and gets really confrontational really early. He gets quite handy with it. I mean, it's too much that's necessary, in my opinion.
100%. Like, the annoying thing is a lot of battles, like, they go on about the Team Tox gas, as it were. Sure. And I remember speaking to Tox, because obviously we'll get into it, obviously speaking about the later battles, but after each battle, I'm not joking, there was always something someone would say, and it was something I couldn't control. And it was really annoying when you're trying to build a brand and have shit like drop battles with decent replay value and stuff like that, and shit like that's happening, because I wasn't gonna fucking stand there and let the dude try punk me or anything like that. And that's all it came down to, man. It was so unnecessary, because the way I look at it, he knew he wasn't going to beat me with his writtens. He knew his writing wasn't strong enough, so he just tried to intimidate me to the point that I'm either going to choke or stumble or something like that. And I rehearsed so much for that, because I knew shit like that might happen. So I thought, yo, I need these rounds like locked in, perfectly. So if any shit like this happens, I can easily bring it back. But no, you're spot on with the word unnecessary. Like, I really just, it wasn't needed. And for me, in the building, it was dope. In the building, everyone caught all my bars and were coming up to me after and saying, yo, dope battle, really enjoyed it. But just watching something like that back on cam, like, I see, like, I think Lazy Ass Jack did a post, and shout out Lazy, like, he's a dope writer too. And he wrote something like, Major seems good, but I had to turn it off because of all the fucking shit Bendtner was doing. And it's like, this dude's like ruined the people watching the battle just to watch me. But in the same token, though, I think if you do want to watch a battle, it's not stupid hard to kind of watch, but at the same time, it it is kind of annoying. But yeah, it kind of happened. But yeah, that's my thought on it, man. That he just did it because his writing kind of wasn't up to scratch in the battle. And
yeah, I think that's true. And like as a garnish, if people are getting really aggy with each other, it's quite compelling. But here it just gets extra. Flawless has to get involved. Loads of people get involved, just pulling you apart and stuff. And it's just
because it was never in my mind thought, is this guy going to try and swing on me, or this guy wants to fight?
Well, he touches your head at one point.
Yeah, it was just, I think he touched it, and I don't think I reacted to that bit because I thought there's no point, like, all I want to do is just get my rounds off and fucking just get through to the next round and shit. But then at the start he started pushing and shoving and all that shite. It was just a bit too much, man. So obviously in my rounds, like, I had to kind of like bark in his face and like, touch chest with him and shit like that. And I mean, I love a bit of like animosity in battles, but it's animosity that deserves to have animosity. When there's like a grudge match, for example, like Sensor PH, shit like that. It's a grudge match. Like, fucking, what have me and Bendtner got against each other, man? Why is a guy trying to fight me? Like, not like
you're on Team Tops, I guess. He's just
yeah, but I do get the whole kind of shit with the whole like, oh, it's a team environment and all that kind of shit. Like, and I do get why it's happened and stuff. And me and Bendtner spoke about it after and stuff. And it was never, even in the battle, like, he was like, oh, it's not going to be like that or something like that. And I knew it was just, like I said, it was just unnecessary, man. But I don't think it took away from my performance in that one, so I'm still happy with my performance.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think the first starts incredibly strong as a response. I brought the Horde stepping through the confession booth just so I can talk to Lord.
Crazy. Man, I'm nice. Come on, man. That was, I remember writing that.
Internal pattern is just so simple but so deadly. Like, it just really gives it legs.
I think that was like the Bendtner clash was like when people first started taking notice, because I think the pen was nice against Bomb. Obviously, we've touched on that, but I think with the stumble and just when my whole demeanor and the performance wasn't there, it can take away from having a dope pen. But the Bendtner battle, like some of the shit I've written for Bendtner was my favorite stuff, man. Like, it was a very, very good battle, like from my perspective and stuff. Like Will Ross has just put in the chat, like Wig on Lord, like Randy Marsh, like that's another bar. Like when I remember when I dropped that, like the crowd erupted on that one. Like, yeah, it was just, I don't know, man. I was just on my shit for that one. I just really wanted to win, and not that I didn't want to win any of my other battles and shit like that, but I don't know, for just the Bendtner battle, I really just got in the zone, and I had the shit penned like so much earlier, like to like some of my later battles and stuff. So I really just had time to just perfect it and shit. And I'm really happy with my writing in that one. Thoroughly enjoyed the battle though. It was fun.
Yeah, the writing's fantastic. You execute the angles pretty seamlessly and tersely. You talk about his voice and his delivery. You can't raise the roof without raising your voice. And then the whole projection be the death of him, like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, that was the fun fact about that was before we got in the venue, Red Lion was shooting, and for some reason it just turned into an impromptu let's all spit our first rounds on camera. For some reason, didn't pay any attention to if like Flawless's like crew was like near us or anything like that. We just started spitting like our first on camera, and I remember dropping that Luke Skywalker bar, and the cameraman went crazy, like, 'cause Red Lion are proper into the films and shit. But it just, I remember when that bar hit me, like after seeing like when I was writing, I thought, oh shit, everyone would have seen the new Star Wars as well. Like, there's not one person that wouldn't have seen Star Wars, so it's kind of like, oh shit, that's really gonna go off. And I fucking love that bar, man. Yo, thanks for reminding me about these bars. Like, it's so weird. Like, you probably know, like, because obviously you battled yourself. But I always say this to everyone, like, battle rap's so weird because you stress yourself out over for like a month or 2 months, write a bunch of shit, memorize it, all to go and stand in front of someone's face, spit it for like 10 minutes and then never ever use it ever again. It's kind of like, oh shit, and then you forget about these gems and shit like that. But yeah, man. Bendtner was a dope battle, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, Briggsy has to tell people really to hold it down at the start of Bendtner's second. Again, there is still this atmosphere, this tension here, unfortunately. He cuts it short, really, in his second. And, his third, a slip-up, basically goes into people talk saying for him to just call time.
That was hilarious. I remember watching that back on cam. You just see Tuck saying call time. He's like, no, I'm not going to call time. It's like, just call time, mate.
But he says you won this because I think you kind of really put your foot on the gas in the second here. The Liverpool Chelsea grip the tool. Tell me caught Stevie. What is it? Caught Stevie slipping.
It's Liverpool Chelsea. If you grip the tool, tell me caught Stevie slipping. Now there's no hope for his team. Come on, man. But yeah, that went off because shout out Bloodstro. Bloodstro's a big Liverpool fan.
Oh yeah.
And he pulled up with me on cam. You can see Bloodstro reacting, and I remember he came up to me after and he's like, "Yo, that's probably one of the only bars like you could put like a Liverpool fan in a building and mention fucking Steven Gerrard slipping and fucking me reacting like that to it." Like shout out Bloodstro though. Bloodstro has supported like me so much from like the first tryout event. Always dapped me up at events, made sure like I got everything I needed, made sure I was ready and all that type of shit. And yeah, man, just that kind of support, considering like I knew Bloodstro actually as well from like went to the same college. We never really like spoke and shit, but I just met Bloodstro like a few times because it was after basically when him and Lunacy blew up. Everyone kind of just knew him around like Manchester and shit. Like Bloodstro is like a really famous face, and he kind of like helped a lot with the support. But it turns out like a guy that I used to like live like next door to pretty much like when I was growing up is actually like his godfather of like his kid as well, so he knows like the same circle of people that I grew up with and shit. So Manchester's just a really weird place, and battle rap is as well. Like with battle rap you just know so many people like that you just know through like friends of friends and shit like that. It's weird, like it's such a niche community, but like you just know so many people in it, like it's crazy.
And how did it feel at this point? I mean, with Lord Bendtner you really solidified your position as the most exciting newcomer at the time. This is how I discovered you. I remember I was really excited waiting for this battle to come out. Bombshell I enjoyed, but I'd heard such good things about this one, and it really did live up to the hype. Like, how did it feel to just go from this Twitch streamer fan to this celebrated underdog?
It was super surreal, man. Like really surreal because I didn't expect to do that well. Like when I tried out, like I knew my pen was okay, but when I just tried out, I just never expected it to blow up like to where like I am now. But speaking like just on the Bendtner clash alone, I just remember beating Bendtner, and I think on that day, like I had probably performance of the day. I can't really think of anyone else who showed out on that day. It was Dean battled Tidal on that event. Dean was dope against Tidal actually. Me and Dean did a lot of writing together for those two battles. But yeah, I think after the Bendtner clash, I didn't want it to get to my head too much, and that's why on the forum, if you look at past posts, I never once said, "Oh shit, I'm gonna smoke, I'm gonna like win the academy," all this. Like in my head, obviously, I thought, I have the potential to do it, but I don't know. I just stayed humble, and I think that's what's kind of got me here, because a lot of these newcomers, they just talk so much shit and they don't always back it up and stuff. Like someone like D-Mac, like he's got the personality where he needs to talk shit online and stuff like that because he can back it up and he's got that demeanor in his battles and stuff. But I don't know. I just stayed humble, I guess, and then I just tried not to let it get to my head because I was thinking, although people are saying, the people then were throwing me into like, okay, yeah, Major's going to make the final and stuff. But in my head, I was thinking, okay, I've only really beaten Bombshell and Bendtner, and both of them aren't like crazy good people. Do you know what I mean? Like, no offense to them. Like you said, Bombshell's super experienced, but as a battler and Bendtner as a battler, like they're not amazing. And it was kind of like, that's the only thing that kind of like, not annoyed me, but everyone was just like, oh, he's only faced shit people. It's like, bro, like I've entered a tournament that was supposed to be for tryouts. I can only beat what's in front of me. Like you can't expect me to be getting these fucking huge names after one or two battles. Like I had to beat Bombshell, Bendtner, Blittz, all those kind of people before getting like a big name like iKid. And I don't know why people are so like, people always say it's like they said it about like Will as well. Like Will had like a dope tryout and stuff, and they were like, oh, but yeah, KDS is shit. And it's like, well, it doesn't really matter if KDS is shit. Like, the guy turned up and performed really well. And I think that's what people get a bit confused about. They expect if they're not against a dope person, then the performance is just basically like, it doesn't matter. Which is stupid in a way. Like, as long as you turn up and have 3 dope rounds, it really doesn't matter who you're against. Like, it just makes for a good battle if the other person's good as well. That's the way I look at it anyway. So yeah, I just try to just not let it get to my head too much with kind of just beating like body bagging Bendtner. because I didn't expect to 3-0 him. Like, in my head, I knew my shit was crazy, but I thought he was at least going to put up a bit of a fight, and he didn't really, so yeah, it's one of them, innit?
And against Blittz, Shotty's in the building. You know,
yeah,
hard to focus in front of this guy.
It was weird. Fucking Tox, man. Tox just got in my head. Like, he was messaging me like, yo, Shotty's going to be there. You need to show up and perform. You need to impress Shotty. Shotty's going to be there. Yo, Soul might be in the building as well. You know, Soul and Shotty and all this. I was like, Tox, like, yo, just leave me, bro. Just let me write and I'll turn up and perform. And, yeah, but in a way it did help, because in my head I was thinking, like, you know, like people like Shotty and Soul and Bobby was in the building for that one. Actually, shout out Bobby. Bobby was in the building for the Bendtner battle as well. And Bobby came up to me after and gave me a few pointers and shit. But yeah, with Shotty in the building, it was just a bit crazy, because I just thought, like, I've grown up like watching these people that I'm in the same room with, and like, it sounds super cringe and stuff, but I'm always a fan before a battle, do you know what I mean? So, like, meeting these people now it's kind of like, you know, I've been backstage and, like, I've met them all before and shit like that. Like, they'll say, like, you know, what's up to me at events and all that kind of shit. And it's just kind of mad just, like, being a part of it now, rather than just going from, like, a fan to actually integrating myself to just, like, being a battler. But yeah, I think with Shotty in the building, it did kind of psych me up a bit, because I thought, here I can really impress a few people. And I thought, if you impress the right people, like Shotty, like Briggs, the people in charge of the league, then obviously the opportunities are endless. They're the people I needed to impress, and I think I did a pretty good job of that in the Blittz battle.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the same day as Soul and Bobby Rex went down, as well as a few other battles. You know, this is a really cool event by Premier Battles.
Start being original, be unique when you flow more. You drop a good impression of Mock You Jim from Tekken, because copying styles is all this dummy's known for. They say he can write like the kid spitting sicker. Clues in his name if he's losing today, because he literally puts the fill into filler. You were in the KOTR bottom 8. Stop it, mate. Stop it, mate. Easy pickings. You got smoked in there. Showed you couldn't hang with G-Dub like Tony Blair.
So Blittz goes first, and Blittz was kind of on a little bit of a tear in the academy, wasn't he? He had some hype at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. He battled Judge T in the first battle.
That's right.
Against Judge T, he wasn't incredible, but he was better than what he'd been, basically. And that's just like. And I think that's what the academy was all about. Like, we touched on kind of, you know, it all being just meant for tryouts and stuff, but fuck that, you know what I mean? If people come in and they wanted to establish the name a bit more and get better and stuff, I'm all for that, man. At this point, like, going into the Blittz battle, I wasn't really asked who was left. I thought, look, I've, like, established now this isn't, like, not a lot of tryouts have entered, and, you know, I'm here against Blittz. And Blittz, for me, it was kind of like I had it in the same mind as the Bombshell battle. Like, I think Blittz is better than Bombshell, no doubt, but he was very, very experienced, and that's what I was kind of worried going into it. Like, this dude is super experienced, but from watching, like, Blitz's battles and stuff, like, I wasn't crazy impressed. Like, he paid Pedro to battle him, so, and just when I was in the chat, like, we had a Team Talks group chat, just the angles that were just getting thrown around about him was just like, oh, okay, fucking hell, like, there's so much to talk about. But yeah, he battled, obviously, Judge T, and then he beat Bracy. But Bracy was just Bracy in that battle. Like, he only looked like he did probably body Bracy, but Bracy just didn't really try in that battle, like, from the look of it. Like, he literally turned up, man, and he had, like, a fucking Archie's takeaway in his hand, just eating wings, and he was just like, yeah, I'm just ready to battle. Like, I thought, yeah, I respect that, man. Like, I mean, in a way, it's kind of like he should have saw the bigger picture of he could have been on, like, the All-Star card. He could have had my spot, do you know what I mean, if he would have put the work in. And yeah, so he beat Bracy. But just to touch on that a bit as well, I think that's what like was a lot of people's downfalls in the tryouts in the early stage of the academy. They didn't see the end goal. They just saw, I'm battling someone that isn't good, so I'm just not going to try at all. And they fucking shouldn't have done that, because look at the opportunity I've got now. Like, I've signed to Pride. I was on the biggest UK card of the year just because I tried to win my battles. People just don't look at the bigger picture sometimes, even though we were literally told, like, before we entered the academy, the final of the academy is going to be on the All-Star card, and the winner gets to obviously be on Premier Battles next season. And now look how much gas, like, Premier Battles has got on it now and stuff. So it's crazy. A lot of people, like, said that they didn't really take it that seriously, but I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on the matter. Yeah. But Blittz, he, like I said, he beat Bracy. So I think coming into the battle with me, he was, I think he didn't let the gas get to his head, but I think he thought he was on a bit of a roll, and obviously I just had to shut him down a bit. So.
And a thread that plays through the whole battle for his writing is him with his experience, as you say, you more as the beginner. His first isn't too bad, actually. Under My Skin, bugging me like Imhotep's Tomb.
Yeah, that's a dope bar. Yeah. In that battle, you can probably see if you watched it recently. I don't know, like in his first battle, I reacted to a lot of his shit just shaking my head because I thought a lot of it was trash. Like he had something like spin to his eye like a hurricane. Like that's trash. Yeah. That's the like.
It spun to the sky like a hurricane. Actually.
Oh, okay, my bad. But that is still trash.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at one point. Shout out Shotty and shout out Tox for this. At one point, you can see Tox say something to my ear, and he says, "Yo, stop reacting." Like Shotty's noticing it. Like, yo, just don't do anything, even if you think it's trash and stuff. Because he had a bar like something like he had like a Team Toxic bar, and I had already dropped like a toxic bar in the Bendtner battle, which he was in the building for. I'm not calling him a biter or whatever. There's that many bars that get spitting, but that I was just like, okay, that's trash. I've already said that. Like, what are you actually saying? And I just think his whole approach to the first was just kind of redundant. Like, he was basically saying, because I've not done it longer than him, I don't deserve to be here. And it's like, bro, like, it doesn't matter how long you've done something. If you trash, you trash. Like, it's just how it is. But no, I did his first, like, I wasn't like super impressed with it because I remember speaking to him before, and he was like, "Oh, I've got some like really dope shit for this one," and yeah, he had like a bit of like a clique behind him as well that were like cheering for him and shit. I mean, I can't really say anything. I had fucking Team Talks behind me, but like he had people behind him and shit. So yeah, but his first, like, I'm with you. I don't think the first was amazing, but it did have like a few nice gems. Like the Imhotep's Tomb bar was nice.
Yeah. And I mean, he says getting beat all over like a xylophone. And probably the nicest moment for him in the battle is in the first, in the middle. Know the science. I can read the patterns, and on the other side, you'll see it different, like a beam's refraction.
Yeah, like the thing with Blittz, he has some moments that, yeah, that's the only issue. It's just some, and they're so far. And I think the way, obviously, I don't know this fucking dude's writing, like how he writes, but I think a lot of people, they'll write 1 or 2 bars that, like, okay, yeah, that's dope writing. Let me just fucking put filler for the rest of the round. And it's like, no, like you write a dope bar like that, build up to it a bit more. His delivery as well for me for Blittz is. It's like he's just written all his bars and he's just rapping them at you. There's no, slow down for some punches, speed up for some others, build up to the punch. It's like he's just got a notepad in front of him and he's just fucking reading the bars to you. And his delivery lets him down massively. But like I said, he's a good writer. It's just not consistent enough in that battle, personally.
Yet again, you have a really strong opening to your first Churchill bar. Breach played Churchill, put a major in charge to take care of the Blitz.
Yeah, that was that went off. That just set the tone for the battle. Right. I think because like with Bombshell and Bendtner, like I just know, like I'd name flip so much in my battles, and when they gave me Blittz, I was like, okay, I can't really write much about this dude's name because like it's Blittz, like, and I was just there for it, and then I thought, oh, I should have just called him like B for a round. I thought, nah, I'm not kind of like fucking just getting off on a cheap way of winning like with name flips, like. So yeah, that was like the one bar I thought, okay, the Blittz like that. And I think I had another name flip, which was like a reindeer bar. Like I think at the end,
no Blitz, and he could never be leading the herd.
Yeah, that I thought that was dope. That didn't get that much reaction, but
it felt a little reachy, if I'm being honest.
You really Blitz and I don't know, man. I don't think that's a crazy reach. Like I can get away with that one. I think. Okay. Yeah,
the Babe Station stuff from you in the first is crazy as well.
What was the Babe Station?
And they just want you to hurry up and finish.
Oh yeah, that's facts. I had the whole Pedro thing in there. The delivery for the punchline for the Pedro thing, from what I remember, wasn't that good though, because it was something like Blittz like had to make an investment just to get interest from P, and obviously like P from money because like he paid Pedro to battle him and stuff. Like obviously interest, like him interested in the battle and all that shit. But yeah, the delivery like to the build up was good, but the punchline. I think I just ran out of breath or something, and I just couldn't deliver it that well. But yeah,
I think this is one of your strongest rounds, probably your strongest round at this point.
Yeah, it was definitely up there. I'm just looking at it now, and like I don't even think I had, like, it's weird because I stopped doing what I did for Blittz in the later battles. Like, when we touch on the iKid battle, you'll know most of it was just, like, 2-bar punches. Like, reading this Blittz stuff now, there's only, like, there's not loads of punchlines in the first, but the setups are a bit longer, to obviously just to build up to the punchline. But, yeah, it went off. The first round was really good, but from what I remember, he had a fucking hilarious second round. Like, he went down the clowning route. And he really clowned me in the second.
Well, the mole mostly.
Yeah,
clowns.
like on the whole birthmark thing, like he was just like, and he really did it funny as well.
Yeah.
Like he said, you birth in like a twin or something.
Did you absorb your dead twin?
Yeah, did you absorb your dead twin? Like, and in my head, like I watched it back and I was laughing like to myself. I was like, yo, this shit's pretty funny. But lo and behold, Tom, what happens, mate? He goes and chokes Dante and throws away his fucking.
He slips up, he calls time, and the battle almost feels over there and then. Like,
yeah, because it was so funny. But like, my issue is like, his second round was dope, and I think it was only supposed to be like 60s anyway, I think, or 60s or 90s or something. And he'd already built up a bit of steam with all the jokes. So personally, he should have just called time rather than letting people know he choked, if you know what I mean. And he might have obviously like got away with it, but yeah, it's annoying because, well, not annoying for me, like obviously I fucking won, but if he finished stronger on the second, we could have had like, it could have been like 1-1 going into the third, if you know what I mean. But then I'm pretty sure from what I remember, my second was pretty strong as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, you flipped the whole birthmark stuff last time I let you march it on the face.
Yeah, shit, that was the round with the... Oh, man, I've never had a reaction like that since. That was crazy. Like, being in the building for that, the whole crowd went fucking mad for that. Yeah. Like, that was fucking surreal. Actually, that was one of the first times I dropped, like, yo, shit, this is actually a mint feeling, like, people reacting to your shit. Like, yeah, I think that... They kind of just like fucking negated his whole second round with that one flip, and it's crazy when you can do a flip and just kind of do that. But yo, shit, I forgot about that actually. Yeah, that's dope.
Now, you know, I not so much anymore, but used to fuck heavy, probably unsurprisingly, with trading card games. But I never really played Magic the Gathering. What's the major on the card like Magic the Gathering?
So basically, it's not even a super dope bar. All it was in Magic the Gathering, which I've never played either, man. I just remember, like, fuck knows how I know this. Yeah. But basically, you just get, like, cards with, like, mages on, like, you know, mages and, like, magicians.
Oh, I see,
That's all. It's not, like, a super, like, major like, army bar or anything. Because someone commented on the post in, like, an update thread, I remember. It's so weird, like, you just remember, like, fucking odd shit like this. But I remember looking at the update thread after, and someone's like, oh, I play Magic the Gathering, like, I don't get the bar. And then, like, I sent him, like, a picture of, like, the card, and he was like, oh, shit, I didn't even think of it like that. Yeah, he's like, oh, yeah, that's dope. Like, but yeah, that's all it was. It didn't get a crazy reaction either, but yeah, it is, like I said, it's just shit like this that you don't really know what's going to go off because it depends who's in the building for it. Like, I could have just had a bunch of fucking Magic the Gathering fans that like battle rap and thought, oh yeah, that's dope. But
look, I'm here for all of that. I'm here for all the Yu-Gi-Oh bars, the Duel Masters bars.
Don't make me drop a few Yu-Gi-Oh bars in the next battle, Tom.
Please. I don't think I've heard many, and it was just Blue Eyes White Dragon is pretty much all that's referenced. So,
oh my god, I was in the building for that. It was so fucking awkward. Oh man, I forgot that even happened. I'm gonna have to watch that back later.
Yeah. And Harry Potter gun bars are mentioned by you as well. Your chatting bars to acne scars. He should have used his filler to fix the holes in his face. He's really nice as well.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really like that.
I mean, shout out Will Ross in the background to this battle, most visibly in the Blittz rounds, nodding heavy the Blitz's patterns. And, you know, he talks about him going first, setting levels and tone. I mean, it's a bit weak, really. And from you in the third, one of the best Simpson bars I've heard in a long time. You're basically... Oh
man, I'm so glad you caught
it. Yeah. I mean, so can you explain that angle? Sorry, so it's quite a dark sort of revelation.
Let me try the bar. Where's the Simpsons bar?
It was the Artie Ziff when you started.
Oh, shit. Artie Ziff when you started shit. Homie should have jumped in to stop your Marge being back. Oh, yo, if I heard that on someone else fit, that I'd be going crazy.
Love that.
And basically, what happened was, I don't know the full ins and outs. The thing with battle rap is you find like one little angle and you can just exaggerate it as much as possible. And all it was someone had basically like I'd heard a while ago, just from being in like forums and shit, that supposedly like there's a guy called Relapse. He battles on King of the Ronalds. I think he's from Manchester actually. He he was on the King of the Ronalds card like a few weeks ago actually. He's pretty dope actually. He freestyled most of it and it was pretty cool. So basically I just heard that. I don't know what happened. I think like a fight broke out or something, and basically Blitz's mum stepped in and to like kind of like split up the fighters. I don't quote me on this, like I don't know the ins and outs. I just sound the angle and thought, okay,
sure.
That's my third round done. But yeah, supposedly she just broke up the fight, and then I don't know, I think she might have got hit in the process or something like that. Don't know how it all went down, but yeah, I just ran with that and the fact that Blittz couldn't really like protect his mum and shit like that. So yeah, and the fucking crowd fucking ate it up, man. Crowd fucking love angles like that, like. Yeah. And that's all it is. It's just being able to sell something. Because I remember Blittz came up to me after, and he was like, "Oh, all this stuff about, you know, this that didn't happen, that didn't happen." It's like, well, I didn't know, do it? Like the crowd didn't know that didn't happen. Like, but it wasn't like I'd never like. I fucking hate the whole you're being exposed in a battle kind of thing. For me, I'd never if that hadn't been mentioned before. And it wasn't common knowledge that all this had happened, like Blittz had been to prison and all that. Like, I wouldn't have mentioned it. Like, I just exposing people in a battle. Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, even if it was something like super like deep or something, like I don't know. Like, I want to win the rap battle because for being the better battler, not for just having more fucking facts and a better research game. Do you know what I mean? It's. But the only reason I mentioned it was because it was just common knowledge and it'd been mentioned in other battles. But just no one had done it that well, really. No one had super sold it to the crowd, and I just think it was a risk from my perspective because I'd never spent a full round on like one angle before, and the third round is pretty much like one angle. So it was a massive risk, and I remember saying to Tox before, like, yo, I don't think this third is going to be strong enough, and he was like, no, I love it, I think it's sick, and I was like, yeah, but compared to all my other battles, like. I'm pretty good at like getting a topic and just doing 1 or 2 bars and then moving on to the next topic. I don't really sit and talk about the same topic for ages. Whereas in that battle, I spent the whole third round talking about it. And yeah, it was a super risk, but like it paid off, man. So yeah, I was buzzing for it.
Yeah, as you say, you talk about his mom getting hit in the face. Should have spazzed on relapse like M in 09.
Yeah.
And you talk about also working in a bank, should be used to handing out statements. Snitches don't get stitches, they get knocked out of tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the third was for like, now that I'm thinking about it, the third had a lot of nice haymakers in it. Like the third, like I just I've not watched my battles back in a while. I don't usually tend to like watch my battles back in full. Just because I'd usually just take the criticism off other people. But I remember watching that back thinking, yeah, the third round was actually really nice. But I had a bar, fun fact here, like I had a bar and it was something like like the Charlotte's Web bar, like Charlotte's Web when I mark his death, his insect dead, I'm talking to pig. And don't ever fucking read YouTube comments on your battles because you just get so disheartened. Someone commented on it saying, oh, by the way, a spider isn't an insect, it's an anarchid or something like that. I was like, oh, okay. And someone just replied saying, yo, that's being so picky. But it's shit like that, it's like, yo, you need to like kind of step your references up if you're going to do shit like that. Like, you need to be coming with facts and not just fucking random words. So yeah, I just need to step up my fucking insect research game better, really.
And we get the judging as well at the end. Bloodstro, Mr. Million View Battle Rapper, is how he introduced himself. He gives it to you. He says you remind him of Soul when he started.
I mean, when he started, like, as far as
is that an insult?
Soul,
like, yeah.
Didn't Soul rap in like an American accent when he started, or like an English accent or something like that? He didn't rap in his own accent, did he, when he first started? I might be thinking of someone else, but
do you remember Soul's first ever bar?
No. The bar that fit like that I always remember with Soul is I stay humble, spitting ravenous
that's
flames.
His first bar.
Is that his first?
Yeah.
Yo, Pigsty clowned him for that, man. Like, that is fucking hilarious, though. Stay humble, spitting ravenous flames. It just goes to show, man. You can start off with shit like that and become one of the best battlers in the world. You can get better.
And someone pointed out in the comments as well that Stay Humble, Spitting Ravenous Flames is literally low-key fire.
I mean, I find myself saying it a lot, like when like I'm speaking to people and they'll just be like, "Oh, just like talk your shit a bit more, like have a bit of personality." I'd be like, "Nah, just stay humble, spitting ravenous flames." Like, it's such a fucking dope thing to say. Like, actually, you know what? Shout out Soul. That's a dope first bar ever. Like, I like it, man.
I mean, for me personally, Soul is I've said many times my favorite battler. Where do you rank him?
For me personally, like, he's probably one of, like, rankings is hard because like Gem is one of the best in the UK, and obviously Gem. I personally had Soul beating Gem on the URL card, but to be fair, I've only watched it once, and I was watching it live, not actually in the venue. Just like a bunch of us went to like a pub and fucking bought the pay-per-view. And I remember having Soul taking it, but I remember having like Ilmac beating Soul, like obviously at Premier Battles. The thing with Soul, it's like when he gets beat, it's not like he gets beat. It could literally go either way.
Yes.
All of his battles, like, recently have been so fucking good. Like, the Gem battle was crazy, and the Ill battle was one of the best battles I've ever seen live. Probably, actually, nah, fuck that. It was the best battle I've seen live. That battle was fucking phenomenal. Ill was just on his shit for that, but Soul was just fighting back. And, yeah, like I said, I need to watch the Gem battle back again. Just because I might have to. I remember speaking to Dean about it, and Dean was like, "Yeah, I definitely gave it Gem. Gem took it and stuff." So I just need to watch that back. It is hard, like when you're a fan of someone, and it's kind of like you don't want to see like one of your favorite battlers lose type shit. And I try to stay away from being biased just because I think he's one of my favorite battlers. But yeah, I'd say he's definitely like top 3 in the UK, like easily. His pen is probably the top in the UK. Like, I'm trying to think of someone's pen that could match Soul's right now, and but obviously not always like the pen wins the battle. Do you know what I mean? But I just like we've already said this, but both of us appreciate like a decent penmanship. Do you know what I mean? So just watching Soul craft and like his bars and stuff is fucking phenomenal. And like speaking to him backstage and shit, and he was on like watching like Sarcasm City and stuff, and he's speaking about like me and Dean on there and how like impressed he was, and like Ilmac like quoting my bars with like fire emojis and shit like that. Like, it is crazy, man. It's just like it's still fucking so surreal. Like literally like this time last year, I was fucking buying fucking Premier Battles merch and fucking getting ready to go to events and shit. Like, it's just a bit mad, bro. It's just a bit mad.
So we move on to match day 5 versus iKid.
Try fight because you're street, you're needing to grow. I'll show Abbey Road and give him beats in a row. You're good for a few punches, your comedy's not winning the crowd. All jokes aside, we didn't come to see no kidding around. Because each battle you mention, women or guns, we need this cunt stopped. It's text missiles or sex pistols, they know John. He rotten, so only right I get this punk rocked. I don't believe the scary act. It's easy to stop you. It's Frankenstein if you bang the 9. Catch a bolt in your neck for trying to be a monster.
There's a little bit of a delay to introduce you, isn't there? You sort of introduce yourself.
Yeah, the iKid battle, a lot of people know this, and this isn't making excuses, because obviously I do think I won that battle. Obviously I got through, like, the judges thought I won, but I'd been in Amsterdam for the past 2 days before it, and I flew back from Dam the morning of the battle, and literally came straight to the venue. So I was just bare, like, I was pretty disappointed because I didn't want to lose my opportunity in the academy. So I had to change my flights and stuff from Dam, because I was supposed to come back that day anyway, but I wasn't supposed to come back till like later on in the evening. And it was kind of like, it was just supposed to be like a dope break and just chill from work and stuff. And instead it kind of turned into, like, I'm in this fucking mint city, like, go Dam like quite a lot and stuff. It's just like one of my favorite places. And it's just like, I couldn't really do what I wanted to do, because it's like, oh, well, I need to make sure my bars are locked in, should I edit this? Just worrying about the battle for 3 days in another country. And it was kind of like, looking back, I probably shouldn't have gone there, because it was just kind of a waste of money, because I didn't get to enjoy it as much as possible. But yeah, that happened. So we flew back in the morning, came back from the flight, and then obviously went straight to the venue, and then waiting for iKid to come, and then I think me and him was first on that day. Yeah, actually we were, because Briggsy sorted me out, because I said to Briggs, I was like, bro, like, I'm so fucking tired right now, like, I've been up since like 4 or 5 a.m. or some shit, like, I'm super tired, I just want to get my battle out of the way so I can have a few drinks and just fucking dip out early. So Briggs sorted me out and obviously let me go first, but not even making excuses though, because iKid had to fucking drive down from London or whatever, so it kind of worked out both ways, man. Like, I got really lucky this year in the sense that each event was in Manchester, and I've not had to do any sort of travel into London or anything like that. And it's not even making an excuse for people. If you're a dope battler, you should be able to perform. But anyone who's like gone from Manchester to London driving, it's fucking long, and it's fucking just being in a car or even a train for like a few hours, man, before like a big battle, man. It plays on your mind a bit. So yeah, I wasn't trying to make like excuses with that and mention it in the battle or anything, because I thought, well, this dude's got the fucking in the same boat as me. He's had to come down from London. But yeah, so. Trying to think what happened. So yeah, we obviously chilling backstage for a bit, and then Briggs let us go on. And yeah, from what I remember, the audio was just we had a lot of issues with the audio in that battle.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a common complaint for Premier Battles, right?
Yeah, from reading YouTube comments, I has, and you know, it's not a dig at them. The fucking guys work so hard, man. And I think with that one. With the audio for that one, I remember we had these little kind of late, like, I mean, obviously I'd never performed up until this year, so I know fuck all about fucking sound engineering and fucking microphones and shit like that. But yeah, they were like, oh yeah, these mics are good, you're just going to have to project. But what happened was, I don't know if it was like on Camelot, obviously you weren't in the building for that, were you?
No,
you weren't in the building. So basically, like when people were rapping, it was just like the kind of the feedback from the mic. And I remember after iKid finished his first, Briggsy then started adjusting iKid's mic while like I was rapping. And obviously that's not like Briggsy obviously like had to do it, obviously sort out his mic out. But I think in hindsight I maybe should have just chilled and waited until the mic issue had been fixed. So yeah, there was issues with the microphone, but it was one of my biggest clashes to date. Like, no offense to Dean, like I preferred the Dean battle. Me and Dean had the best battle of the academy easily, one of the best battles like last year. But iKid at the time was a bigger name than Dean. Do you know what I mean? So going into the iKid battle, it was kind of like, oh shit, like people know about iKid, like he's been making waves for a while. And yeah, it was that was probably the most nervous I'd been for a battle. Like, even the Dean battle, with it being the final, because I fuck with Dean on a level and stuff, and I know he's nice, I knew going into the Dean battle kind of like what he was going to come with. With the iKid battle, like I was a bit like, yo, I don't know what kind of approach this guy's going to take. Is he going to get up in my face? Like, I didn't know really how to act against him, and especially because it was my first time being on stage as well, and that was like a bit crazy, because in the pit you only have to really focus on the battler and the camera. Won the pit, you've got to kind of go to the fans, the camera, the opponent, you know, all that type of shit. So yeah, it was. I think I did all right. Like,
yeah, you moved confidently up there, I think.
Do you reckon? A lot of people said I didn't move enough. Like, I thought I did in the moment, but I remember I speak to my dad was in the venue for this one. I remember speaking to my dad about it after, and my dad was like, "Yo, like." You just looked so pissed off. Like, you just looked like you didn't want to be there and performing. And I was like, it wasn't that. Like, I was buzzing to do it, but it was kind of like, I've literally just wasted like my fucking holiday and fucking to come and do this. And it was kind of like, if I don't win, I'm going to be fucking pissed off, because it's like, I've wasted a holiday to come here and get beat. But obviously I won. So it paid off in the end, and I'm fucking glad, obviously, I came in shit. But yeah, like I said, being on stage was the main kind of, the main thing I was nervous about.
I mean, I shouted out Yu-Gi-Oh! Earlier. I also want to shout out Smash Brothers. Always respect a good Smash Brothers bar. And doesn't really get any reaction, because it's quite an obscure reference within the franchise.
Fucking no reaction. It was the Little Mac bar, wasn't it?
I mean, who is a sort of diminutive boxer from Nintendo lore, who's a character on Smash, who can knock you off pretty much in one hit. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, he has the special move and stuff, and you will literally get, obviously in Smash Bros, people don't play, like, it's called the stage you play on, so one punch get you knocked off the stage. Obviously a punch is in a punch like that. It's not even, you don't have to think about it, but all my boys like play Smash and shit, and they always come to the event, and you can just hear people, like a few people reacting, and that'll be my mates. And I remember my boy coming up to me after saying, yo, that Smash Bros bar was crazy, why did no one react to it? I was like, oh man, I just need to stop mentioning shit that I think everyone's like fucking knows about. But yeah, man, thanks for appreciating that.
No, of course, man. But yeah, it is a fantastic bar there, and through the battle, really, iKid's good, but I don't think there's any threat or any taste really that you're going to lose here. I think you're just a bit too consistent. Some of iKid's rounds, are, a little slower in that regard. D-Mac reacting heavy at the front.
D-Mac, like, shout out D-Mac, like, he's been non-stop supporting me. Like, he stopped supporting like me and Dean now, and stopped to being a bit more like what's the word, trying to think. He's like he's just trying to get a reaction out of people online because obviously he signed for Knights, and obviously that's a huge move for DMAC. So I don't expect us to be pally anymore, which is cool. DMAC knows I rate him and stuff, but obviously if it comes to this season and I've got to battle him, then obviously I do what I do. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, he was reacting heavy to iKid shit. Like he had I think I'm trying to think of bars that iKid had that went off. He had like a Jenga bar, like built you up just for the kid to knock you down. I thought, that's okay. He's the bar that stood out for me, that he spat that I can remember was the something like showmanship bar, like the whole boat on his I thought actually when I caught that, I thought, oh yeah, that's actually pretty decent. But yeah, he had like a bar like, oh, there's no iron team, and it's like, yo, why are people reacting to this? And it's like, and I think after that battle, like I remember speaking to like people about it, and they were like, it's literally just how you sell something, and people were just dying to react. And you know, fair enough to DMAC, like I'm not going to be a hater because he was reacting to iKid shit as much as he was reacting to my shit. But yeah, like I don't think iKid's pen in that was crazy. I do rate him, but yeah, I don't think he said anything mad. Like the thing that gets me, like I think his biggest reaction was in like the second or third round where he was on about he's had to drive thousands of miles, you know, and it's kind of like. I do get like what he's kind of getting at, but what the fuck does that have to do with me? Like, I've not made him fucking drive thousands of miles. Dude could have got a train or something or whatever. Like, it's kind of like, oh, I live further away, so I deserve the opportunity. It's like, fuck that. It's like, yo, I've just got back on a plane to come here and battle. Like, does that make me worthy of going through? Like, shit like that, man. And I think this with battle rap is fans. Obviously, it's not just the fans to blame because in the building, like as you probably know, shit sounds a lot better in the building than watching it back on cam. When you watch something on cam, you can kind of know when it's trash. Whereas in the building with sick delivery and stuff, you kind of just want to react. But yeah, shit like that I just never react to because I think if it's not direct for me, then don't fucking put it in your battle. Don't get me wrong, I've had some shit over like last year and stuff that was like filler and like I should have cut out, but most of my shit remains direct, and I would never fucking spend 30 seconds to a minute talking about, oh well, I live further away, so I deserve to go through. Like that's just my personal opinion on it though. Like I just don't like those bars. Like
no, because they're like victim of circumstance bars, and there's no real internal logic to them. And yeah, as you say, iKid does say that. Sort of talks about it's not about who's better, but who deserves it most. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's literally like who.
If it was, it'd be shit. Rap. Like
exactly, it's like people say, "Oh, well, he's a better rapper than him, so he should win." Yeah. It's like it's literally rap and rap battling are two completely different things. As much as like someone like fucking shot at Dialect. Dialect was top tier. Obviously, he's like retired now, and he's dope on beat, and he's a dope rapper. Like, and some people can do it, but just because you're a rapper, it does not make you a fucking good battler, man. They're two different things. Like.
Yeah, I mean, we get Stranger Things bars from you in the second. You call him a chef as well, and really nice. This is you should know that the earlier you prep, the easier it is to cook.
Yeah, that was. I remember writing that like crazy. But
that's really fucking tight, man. I love.
Thanks,
that.
Man. I have like side note on that. I remember spitting that obviously after I'd gone through, and iKid came up to me and he had a battle a week before against that Fiora guy. I think wasn't he supposed to like battle Tox and like no showed or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and apparently Fiora had like a really similar bar, but iKid was like, "Oh, the footage isn't even out yet, and you weren't there, so obviously you weren't to know." And it's man, it's just battle rap's one of those things. I'll touch on it there's a funny thing with the Dean battle as well. I'll touch on it when we get there, but something similar happened in that one. But that I like the cooking bar. I had I think I had the Maverick line, the Top Gun reference as well. Goose in his blood, but couldn't fly with Maverick. Like, I don't think that went off, but I don't think really people knew it was a Top Gun reference. But
no. I mean, get eye drops to make my vision clearer.
Yeah, that's I like that. But this is all second, isn't it?
All second round, yeah.
I'm just looking for I can't find my fucking second thing, but I get eye drop to make my vision clearer. Did I have the Neversoft bar in that, or is it?
You had the Neversoft bar in your. I think it was your third, actually. Yeah,
my Neversoft was dope.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the OG Tony Hawk's games, pretty much from 1 to Underground 1, in my view, are like ultimate.
Neversoft
8 was actually good as well, but.
Yeah, I remember I played a lot of like Pro Skate, and then I remember playing like Underground. And yeah, Underground, like I was watching I watch this fucking weird shit on YouTube sometimes, like games that just never really like took off and shit. And Underground was mentioned on there because of how glitchy it was. But when I was a kid playing these games, like shit like that is just like fascinating. Like, oh my fucking god, I'm under the map and shit. Like, but yeah, shout out skateboarding games. Like, I'd never ever attempt to skateboard, but shout out the Skate series. EA need to fucking fix up and get a new Skate dropped ASAP. Like, Skate to me is like one of my fucking favorite games. But yeah, skateboarding games are just dope, man. It's just fun. But yeah, the Neversoft reference, I think it was like get something stuck in eye to show that I'm never stop.
Yeah. And like I don't know if you remember on Neversoft games, they always had like a demo for another game on the game. And they kind of like, because they basically copied the Tony Hawk's format onto different things. So you had like Matt Hoffman's BMX. I think there was a surfing one as well. Like you could grind a wave and shit.
I remember I had the BMX game. I remember I never touched the surfing game, but yeah, I remember that Matt Hoffman's BMX, bro. That was a dope game. Like,
there needs to be a Matt Hoffman bar. Like, I don't
know. Man, next battle,
BMX. Man. Yeah, whatever.
I just need you in the building, Tom, just so you can react to this new shit.
I'll just,
just do a full round on Yu-Gi-Oh bars just for you, mate.
That'll endear me. That'll really endear me, I'm sure. You do the two dad flips in the battle. You're flipping yet again, and it's a common topic, but I think you address it with some spark.
So, the whole dad situation, let me touch on that real quick. Like, the thing is, like, my dad, like, is literally, like, it's gonna sound so fucking cringe, but my dad is literally, like, one of my best mates, you know what I mean? Like, me and my dad, like, chop it up, like, so much, and, like, me and him were watching battle rap back in the day, so, like, when I told him I was getting into battle rap, he was like, yo, shit, like, I've got to be there to support, but my dad isn't the type of person that's like, oh, just because he's my son, he won. Like, he thinks Dean beat me and stuff. Like, he said to me, like, yeah, I felt like Dean beat you in that battle. I felt you could have done better in the iKid battle. And it's so dope having someone like you're so close to, but will also be completely honest with you. Because I feel like what lets a lot of these new battlers down, and even some experienced battlers, they get a circle around them that are scared to tell them, like, when they're not very good or when a bar's shit. And due to that, you just get messages saying, oh, yeah, that's fire, keep that, that's so dope and stuff. And Dean's another one. Like, shout out Dean, because me and Dean, like, will chop it up and stuff and, like, speak about bars and stuff. And if he doesn't think a bar's very good, he'll tell me, and I'll do the same vice versa to him. And I feel you need better people in your circle in this type of hobby to actually be a lot more honest with you. Because when you're not honest, you just get results in, like, fucking cringe battlers and stuff. Like, you need someone, even if it's, like, you're not very good. I mean, who am I to say, like, you can't have a hobby of battling, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, if you come in with some serious shit and you really think you're going to do well, like, I'd be so honest with my friends and stuff and be like, yo, like, I don't think that's very good, or cut that. But yeah, so that was I think my dad came to the Blittz battle, and he came to the Bendtner battle, and he came to the Dean battle. No, he didn't come to the Bendtner battle, he came to the Blittz, iKid, and Dean. Right. Just because I remember speaking to Tox, I was like, yo, like, my dad really wants to come and support, and he was like, yo, like, I don't think it's a good idea and stuff, because people's going to do so many bars about it. But now it's kind of like, how many more bars can they say? Dean had, like, a really, like, good bar that went off about it and stuff. Yeah, iKid obviously had a battle about my dad and stuff. But yeah, now I've just kind of learned to accept it. Like, at the end of the day, he's a fan of battle rap. Like, he might come Dub Scandal next week and stuff. Like, and I can't, just because he's, like, my dad or a bit older or whatever, man. Who are we to say you've got to be fucking super young to enjoy the craft or whatever? Like, but yeah, the running joke with me and my dad at the minute is, like, he's lost me the academy, because if I wouldn't have brought him there, Dean wouldn't have had these bars about him and shit like that. Like, it's just to fucking wind him up. But yeah, so I think the flip was like, what you mentioned my dad, that was poor kid, you just seem pissed off, you don't know where the fuck yours is, something like that. Yeah, that went off like a lot. And
then he mentioned you had 3 dads, and then you took that and said,
yo, I've got side notes about everything like this. The running joke with that, we're in a Team Tox group chat, and he was like, yo, Major, is that your dad that comes to battles? And I just made a joke like, which one, bro? And he's like, how many dads do you have? I was like, oh, I've got 3 dads, mate. Like, I was just taking the piss, do you know what I mean? And I think he took it that I was being serious. And then when people like, you got 3 dads, I think people were like, what's he going on about? So it kind of worked in my favour, just fucking trolling. Like, it's just a good life lesson, man. Just be a troll and shit'll just work out for you very well.
Well, you win the battle and go through to the final. And you versus Dean. Actually, let's just talk a little bit about the scorecard and the scoring system in Premier Battles. What do you think about it?
Right, so I think it's a dope idea. I think it's a super good idea. My issue is with they don't give you enough time to judge the battle on the scorecard, and I feel it's people just putting any numbers in a box. Like, I judged Zen versus Briggsy at one of the match days, and I gave it Briggsy. On second watch, I'm happy with my decision. I thought Briggsy won that battle. But yeah, I remember it just being so rushed. Like, we're given a scorecard, and then like 2 minutes later, it was like, okay, has everyone done it? It's like, yo, I've literally just watched the battle now. Like, I feel maybe what we need to get better at is maybe the judges kind of maybe watching from a bit outside the pit, maybe with the scorecards in the hand ready to score after each round. Because I remember when I judged, I made a note of like getting my phone out and making notes of bars and stuff like that. I don't think a lot of judges do that. I don't know, man. It's a dope idea. Personally, like, I know a few people don't do this. I like judge battles based on rounds, so I'll always say, like, you know, you get 3 rounds. Whoever wins the most out of those 3 wins the battle, and that's just the way I've always looked at it. So, for example, like Soul versus Ilmac, I had Ilmac winning because I had Soul taking the 3rd, Ilmac taking the 1st, and I preferred Ilmac 2nd. So I just judge battles based on rounds, and I think back in the day, like, it was just when like Don't Flop was on the rise and all these other leagues and stuff, it was just so much easier to do that. But now with the scorecard thing, it definitely complicates it, but then maybe it is also giving the right actual decision and you know, the fair decision rather than just what people preferred more, because at the end of the day, it will always be who you preferred in a battle. And even if, you know, like you said about iKids Bars, about, you know, like driving like to Manchester and shit, there might be people in the crowd who can connect with that, like, oh shit, I'm a battler, you know, I have to drive, and so, oh, you know, I think that's fucking crazy, I think that's so fire, I'm going to give iKid the win based on that. And it just comes down to preference with rap battles. Like, there is some clean cut battles where you know, like, when someone's lost. But then the ones like when you get, you know, the very best to do it, like the Soul versus Ilmax, like, they're so hard to judge. But overall, I think the judging the scorecard is a dope idea, and I think it works well. I just think we just need a bit more time to just let them watch it back maybe and judge it on a V. Not even video judging. Like, I don't need to see someone going through why they've given it. I just to say, okay, this person gave it them or whatever. So. I mean, it should. I know, fucking shout out whoever was like, shout out Bagnall, like, on the cam for me and Dean and stuff. That dude works so fucking hard. But shout out all the other cameramen who've shot and stuff, and, you know, to actually get the video editing done and all that kind of shit. Like, it's not an easy process. So maybe I'm expecting too much to kind of say, okay, have the videos kind of ripped at least, so the judges can watch back and then have the scorecards in like the next day or whatever. Like, I personally think that's the best way of doing it. But like I said, it's just a time kind of thing, and people want to know who won there and then. So
yeah, and you know, that brings us nicely to the final battle that just went down at the All-Star game, I guess around a month ago now at the time of us recording this. You versus LSDean.
Speaking about being depressed, snort too much, now you got problems, no wonder you're down. Too many bumps got you at rock bottom. Okay. You love the taste of the flake, the backdrop's a meal for this guy, keep enjoying that drip. Until you're relying on one to keep you alive. Yo, so you complain it ain't as potent, so there's low life on the drink, the damage is his own fault. There's 0 on the bottle, like, damn, I missed that old Coke. You know that one?
I said this before the battle, that I had you winning. I remember telling you after the battle, actually, in the venue, that I had you winning. I still have you winning, and I think it's because I judge the battles on rounds like you do. And I think the first 2 are kind of undeniable, and a lot of people are making the case for the 3rd being this explosive, game-changing thing. But I don't know. I think your 3rd's pretty tight as well.
Thanks, man. Basically, yeah, that's how I look at it. Like, it drops at 1 today. Little shameless plug.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah. So everyone listening live as well. If you're listening live as well, I should say thanks so much. Leave a comment or a question, I should say, for Major, and we'll get to those at the end of the episode. But it's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see it go live? Do you anticipate many people say you were robbed, or will it be a unanimous deal?
I don't think that. I think robbed is completely the wrong word to use for for that kind of battle, because it really could have gone either way. And like, I'll break it down for you how I got it. I personally think I won the 1st, like, cleanly. Dean won the 3rd cleanly, and it really comes down to the 2nd of what you prefer. I took the jokes approach in the 2nd, which is something I'd never really done, and I thought, fuck it, I'll do a bit of comedy in the 2nd, get a few laughs, and the fucking crowd loved it, man. And I don't know, maybe something I'm going to incorporate into my later rounds, but Yeah, it was just, I really think I couldn't, and I say this to everyone who, and a majority of people, like I said, I'm no shame in saying it. I think even after the battle, I need to watch it back in full, but after the battle, I remember saying that Dean won, but Will Ross has made like a really good point in the chat now, saying definitely gave it to Dean in the room. The bigger performers usually win on watch back. It's more the writing, and I think he's hit the nail on the head. Dean outperformed me in that battle. No shame in saying that. Dean is fucking, to stand in front of that guy on stage is crazy, because he's so theatric, and you know, he can move, and you know, he has the crowd eating out the palm of his hand, whereas me, I've got well-crafted writtens, let's see if you catch the bars type shit. And I think my delivery in the battle was really good. It's the best I've been in a battle personally. It just wasn't enough for the performance. But my issue is I think, not issue, but Dean writes his bars a lot round his performance, whereas I just write punchlines. So it's very stagnant kind of how I deliver it sometimes. Yeah. Like, I can't really do anything more with a punchline other than getting in the face or, you know, walk around him, all that type of shit, which I did against Dean. So yeah, I think after I said, I felt like Dean won just because his third was so good, and my game plan going into it, which I shouldn't have done really. In my head, it seemed like the right thing to do was basically what you said: have a fire first and second, win the battle by the time you get to the third, and then in the third, go with my weakest round in the third. And I do think my third was the weakest, but looking back on it now, that was the most stupidest thing to do. I completely forgot that the third round is the round that sticks in like the judges' heads the most. So people aren't remembering, even though it's only like a few minutes or whatever, people are remembering bars from the third round, not the first. The first is pretty much forgotten about. So I really should have gone with my strongest on my third, and then maybe done like not a weak. I don't think my third was weak by any means, but it was the weakest out of the 3 rounds personally. I said,
so I think you connected more though. I think Dean had a lot of dry spots throughout the rounds.
I think I was more direct. I think I was fully more direct. Like I touched on a fucking shitload of angles as well. But like I said, battle rap's just one of those things, man. Like one day it could have gone to me, the other day it'll go to Dean. It's really just what crowd you have in the room, and what people prefer. Like I took the more direct route with a lot more punchlines and shit like that. But obviously Dean had the performance, so it's dope that you had me winning. A few people after I was at King of the Ronalds, like a few weeks ago, a few people came up to me there saying that they had me winning, but I'm not mad at Dean winning the battle. I'm going to watch it in full when it drops on cam, when it drops on YouTube today, and have a look. But I remember like afterwards, and we did a post-match interview, like I said I felt that Dean won, but the more I think about it and the more people tell me about the battle, I'm not saying that I won, I need to watch it back, but I definitely do think if you judge him by rounds, I won on rounds. But Dean said, like, props to Dean, he said the same thing. He literally said battles aren't always won on rounds, and he feels that I won the first and second round and he won the third, but his performance overall on the 3 rounds won in the battle. And I think that's a perfect way of looking at it. But yeah, my pen for Dean was, I had some crazy shit, man. Like I was in a really good place when I wrote my first and my second. I was in a really good place and stuff, and then the third, just a bunch of like real life shit hit me in that, and then I was so close to just pulling out of the battle and stuff. I just felt like I really just don't want to do this. I don't want to stand on stage and fucking rap and all that shit. I felt like, you know, the whole Daylight fucking thing against who is he battling now?
Roan?
No, not Rowan. Was it the Pat Stay battle where he just threw the battle and stuff because he said like he didn't want to rap anymore?
Chains and
yeah.
Okay.
So didn't feel like what Daylight was saying like that, but in my head I was like, I really just don't want to rap for people. Like I don't want to do it. Like my head's just not in the right place. And then I just thought, like, I've been given this fucking such a sick opportunity. I didn't want to let Dean down because me and him both spoke before a lot, and we both said like this battle has the potential to be such a fucking classic. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, I just picked myself up and thought, yeah, fuck that, and then obviously penned the third. And as much as I like my third round, it was the weakest out of the 3, and obviously what in the judges' eyes lost me the battle, I guess.
The third is the first is crazy. It's relentless. Like in the first minute, there are so many good lines. The Banksy work. as soon as the fee got confirmed, I turned his art to shreds, which is a really good take on that whole thing. Probably the only bar that's ever going to be spat about that event. And, you know,
fun note about that. I don't know why I have so many side notes about shit like that. Apparently, fucking Canel had a similar bar on the day it happened. He said to me after, which obviously I had not seen the battle, Canel said when the whole Banksy thing happened, he heard about it on his way to the event, and he had a freestyle, and it was something like, "Oh, I destroy my own work. I'm Banksy," or something like that. So apparently, he wasn't the first person to spit it, but I remember just reading that in the news, and I thought, "Yo, I need a bar about this." And yeah, people love that. Like, I think Shotty posted that on Twitter, and it got like close to like 100 retweets and favorites. Really? I had like the drummer from like Rudimental followed me and shit, and like I said, that was the bar.
Love Beanie.
Yeah, and then that was the bar that like Ilmac quoted with the fire emojis and shit, and I thought, yo, this is like at that moment in a way, even though I know this is just first round we're talking about, but in a way, like even though I lost the battle, it didn't feel like a loss in any way. Like the shit that was getting out of it on material, and I think when it drops in an hour, it's gonna look so fucking sick on cam. But yeah, I had the art to shreds. I'm trying to think what else.
Well, you sort of cast him as drug dependent, so you had like too many bumps, got you at rock bottom, which is really clean. Zero on the bottle, like damn, I missed the old coke.
That's one of my favorite bars I've ever written, bro. Like I remember, like man, when I came up with that, like I thought, yo, and I was saying it to people, and people like, I don't get it. I was like, bro, Coke Zero, do you not get it? Like they changed the recipe and all that shit, and that bar to me, like sometimes you just gotta big yourself up and appreciate your own craft, man. And when I can't wait to watch that battle back later on just to hear me say that again, because that was crazy. But the whole drug angle, like we already touched on like exposing people. It's a known fact. Like shout out Dean. Dean's doing like really well for himself and shit now. So, but yeah, like a lot of people have touched on like Dean's like drug use and shit like that. And that's the only reason I mentioned it. And in a way, maybe to some people it's like a cheap angle, but no one had done it well against him. No one had fucking done that well at all. And I thought it's not exposing him for being this massive like fucking cokehead or anything, because people already know. And because we obviously, I'm not going to go into like what he said, but we touched on it before, and there was a few things he didn't want mentioning and stuff like that. And obviously I didn't mention those things. I didn't fucking, because I respect him as a dude. Like the dude's my mate, do you know what I mean? Like a few weeks later, like we went into town and fucking went out partying and shit. Like we're cool like that, and I respect him as a person. So like I said, the whole exposing thing, it was never like the way I looked at it with the whole like using the drug shit, like it was never meant to be, oh, this is fucking this sick exposing and I'm getting reaction just off like shock value. I thought, let me craft as many fucking sick bars as possible about this, and I think that's what people appreciated. Not the fact I was talking, oh shit, the guy does coke, because fucking it is a minor, do you know what I mean? It's not even that deep. It was more the shit, like my penmanship for those kind of bars. And like I said, when you get someone like that who has such like an obvious angle to take, and no one had done it really well, I thought, okay, cool, like I'm gonna do it. So yeah, it paid off well. Like I had a lot of nice bars about that.
And as we move into the latter sections of the round, hair disappearing like the bridge of his nose, which is Gemini-like in a kind of satisfying directness. I mean, I think Quill had a similar line against Yunnan. Okay. All the coke up your nose got you burning bridges.
Yeah, dope.
Which is fucking fire. Yeah.
Yeah, I think burning bridges, like maybe like, because I think I'm trying to think. Soul had a bar against Pesci that was like, too many lines, now his bridges are burnt in Canada, something like that. I think that was against Pesci anyway.
I think Red Flag had like, break your nose, cross the bridge when I come to it.
Yeah. But it was more like the fact, like his hair, like of his hairline. It wasn't, like I said, it was just a 2-bar thing. It wasn't like this whole thing like burning bridges. But yeah, I had that. What else? But one of my favorite bars from that round was the Codeine bar. Like, when I penned that, like I was very impressed with that. Like it was just, there was so many layers to that bar, and I remember Dean like saying to me after, like that bar was crazy and stuff.
I remember, again, not a similar bar, but I remember Koj against Danny Jack had, what did he say? Like, it was like a Codeine bar, and it's like, thought you'd feel no pain with Co and Dean or something like that. So going off that sort of idea. But you mentioned How High as well, to not much reaction, but a really good reference.
I remember. It's
surprisingly little reaction,
Bro, I thought, everyone's fucking seen How High, everyone's seen How High, and then I remember, because in the moment, I just remember hearing Tox say, "Oh shit, shout out that Red Man shit," or whatever. It was a dope bar, need to get, and I thought I sold it pretty well with introducing the fact his rap name's Dead Boy and stuff like that. I need to get Dead Boy smoke just to pass the test. I was gonna do maybe done like a Sixth Sense like Bruce Willis bar, like Dead Boy or something, but then I thought everyone's done that, so I thought everyone's done How High bars, but I thought that just fit perfectly for that. And it's such a simple bar, but that was probably the bar out the first round that I spent so long trying to do. I just couldn't get it to work and rhyme in a way that I felt like I need to introduce the fact that his name's Dead Boy for the later punch, the Deadpool punch. But it didn't go off, which I was surprised about considering other shit went off. But it's just, battle rap's just crazy, man. It really just depends who's in the building, I guess. But yeah, I thought that reference, of everything else I spat, I thought of everything that would have gone off.
Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent round, and as you say, you mentioned Deadpool later, writing level Ryan Reynolds, can't see Dead as a PG because of the content displayed.
Yeah,
and you mentioned Improving Grounds as well. I didn't realise that LSDean was trying to get on that.
So yeah, basically all it was obviously it's just an exaggeration. Basically, Dean. So basically, I got shouted to do a Proving Grounds, but Proving Grounds was in November, and I had Dean in December. So I was literally I really wanted to do it, but then I was I just can't commit. The thing with me, Tom, it's I don't want to give shoddy performances and take fucking 3 battles in 2 months or whatever just to get my name out there. People oversaturate themselves so much, and it gives you more of a risk at choking and not having decent performances if you write in for 2-3 battles at once. So I turned it down, and all it was me and Dean were "Oh shit, have you not been shouted for it?" And Dean was "Oh no." So I was going to have a bar, because basically when I didn't agree to be on the PGs, I thought to myself, well, there's another place available, surely, because if I've turned it down, then I need to be replaced with someone else. So I was trying to think of a bar that's kind of you couldn't replace me or something like that, but yeah, I just couldn't think of anything. So yeah, I just went for the whole, what did I say? Didn't let you connect to the URL, we knew the link was broken or something. Yeah. So yeah, that's all it was just Snoop didn't shout Dean to go on the PGs, which I was very surprised about. Shout out Snoop though, he's dope, we've chopped it up. But yeah, I don't know why Dean just didn't get asked to do it, so I just thought, yeah, it's fucking worth mentioning.
Dean with a flip at the top of his first, flipping the depression attack you had. Bury somewhere they won't find you. Only tried to kill myself to get a better ghostwriter.
Oh man, don't fucking mate. I shot myself in the foot so much for that. So fun, side note for that. Dean told me that bar literally about 5-6 months ago. I knew he had that that was a pre-buttle. Not wrong with pre-buttles. It was a dope bar. It went off. Dean was sat on that bar for so long, and for some reason, I thought he said it against Tidal or something, because at that time we were obviously speaking about angles and shit like that. And we basically said that, if Tidal mentions the depression angle or shit like that, then I'm going to flip it with this. And yeah, my memory just got so shit that I fully thought he'd already used it. And then it was kind of when someone tells you something, it's for fuck's sake, I'm on the receiving end of this crazy bar now. And I just remember thinking to myself, I was going to flip it myself if, didn't you already say that? And then I thought, nah, he's not even said it. So yeah, it was a crazy pre-buttle, man. It is such a dope bar, that, and I don't think it negated the whole depression thing too much, but it was still a dope bar to start off his round, and I think that's what gave him kind of the performance, starting off with a strong flip like that and then straight into his round. So yeah,
he has some really strong stuff. The Love All Terrors Apart and I Enjoy Division.
Yeah, that's a dope bar, man. Shout out Joy Division. Yeah, I'm surprised. It's such a basic bar, but the whole I Enjoy Division kind of thing, it is very, very well done, rather than just Love Will Tear Us Apart like Joy Division. He actually crafted it with it. I enjoyed it. So yeah, like I said, people have slept on Dean's pen for a while. The dude is a true craftsmanship of this shit, and I think it's so weird. He gets overlooked a lot. And I don't get why, his pen is very, very good. And I don't know if it's because people see his performance as well, and it's kind of you can have one or the other kind of thing. And people always talk about how dope Dean is on stage and how he's such a good performer that maybe it kind of overshadows his pen. But yeah, his written's very, very good.
Yeah, they are. And as I say, sometimes there's things that don't necessarily get the reaction. You know, talks about you taking lines from him, took credit trying to borrow here for a paycheck is just, you know, there's not really much there. And similar with the Julius Caesar ending as well, I think there needs to be more of a specific contextual twist on it rather than just stabbed in the back by the right-hand man. Maybe an Etu Dean. I don't know what he's going for there, but
the whole borrow bars thing. I think I'm trying to think what that. Okay, I remember now. It wasn't a case of like.
It was like a manager line, wasn't it? Like an age line.
So basically, I wrote about. I thought iKid was super old. He's literally like my age. Like, you know, the whole iKid battle. I went in on his age and shit. Like, I thought he was like a lot older than he was. But anyway, and yeah, it was just one of those things where I'd written it and I told him, and then he was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I had a similar bar, but I think maybe in his head, maybe he had already told me. Like, in my head, though, like, I didn't fully take the bar by whatever mean, but I think the point he was trying to make was he'd already mentioned he was going to go with a similar angle like that, and then I kind of, like, wrote one, like, obviously, like, similar to him. It was a dope angle to do. He just, he didn't sell it that well of all the bars. Don't get me wrong, he had, like, his writtens and his punchlines in the battle were crazy, but he could have sold that angle very, very well. Like, he could have done a few more bars on it because people would have eaten that up, because we've wrote together as well. There's like a few bars that like have helped him write and stuff. Like, never like wrote like the full, like, you know, from start to finish, you say this, but we've, you know, spoke on punches like, maybe the setup could be this and shit. Like, it's just what you do when you've got friends who rap. Do you know what I mean? So I was gonna go in on that, but then I thought like, but it's not really true. Like, I've not given him like specific lines, and he said it. I've just helped him like craft like when you're struggling to actually get the punch out. So I think that would have been a dope angle to use though, like him on me or me on him, and just sold it a bit better. But yeah, I'm with you there. It could have been a bit more build up to it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some great stuff in the round. There's an impressive multi of Mausoleum and Knoll to Liam. Master Plan don't matter when your brother does you over. I mean, again, something like that, I feel like there could just be another couple of Oasis references, maybe, just to sharpen them. We're going to talk tonight, or I don't know, something like that. So
I love Oasis. So
but Oasis are amazing. But you in the second with the Joy Division flip, the Ian Curtis.
What was the bar? Something like you mentioned Joy Division, you got decent verses. Boy, I'll leave you hanging like Ian Curtis. Like, yeah, that was just a little something. Like, I didn't really, it didn't get a super crazy reaction. I didn't expect it to. People who don't know, Ian Curtis obviously hung himself like back in the day and shit. So yeah, that's all it was. It was just obviously a flip on the Joy Division line. But yeah, I just thought I'd start the second round with a flip, and it's crazy because that's such like a dark thing to mention, and then it was just straight into jokes of just clowning him, like. So yeah, I'm glad I dropped the flip though. Like, I just thought like he was flipping. I thought, shit, I've got a flip as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean him falling over at events, which he does flip in his second really well, is quite a funny angle. Yeah. You know, most improved is a polite way of saying you were shit when you started. I mean, damn, that's kind of like the, you know, hammer on the nail.
Yeah, I just thought that bar was just so like so well written and just well done. Like, I think I put like my hand on his shoulder, like, bro, it's not a compliment. Like, it's shit like that. Like, and it's just like, it's facts though, because what is most improved? Like, that's all it means. That if you're the most improved, you just shit when you started. Like, so yeah, it was a funny bar. He did appreciate that one. He said, I remember. We spoke about that, and Dean was like, "Oh, that was so like Soul-esque. Like, I just imagine like Soul like doing that and stuff. Maybe like when Soul battled Yunnan and stuff like that, and he was clowning him. Like, yeah. So when people compare me to like these crazy people, like, you know, just odd bars, it's like, that's crazy. Like, how are you putting me in the same conversation as these people? But I love that bar. That was one of my favorite ones.
Foil and can swag, San Pellegrino.
No, how has no one said that?
I remember you stare at the camera hard when you deliver it as well.
Yeah, I remember we were speaking to Mike P, and Mike P brought his boy over as well, and Mike P was like, "Yo, that line's crazy," and we were both like, "How has no one said that before?" Like, foil on a can like San Pellegrino, and I just remember writing the bar, real life shit, man. I was there sipping a San Pelli, like, just like when Tay-Rock said about the seatbelt bar, he was in the car, like, he literally couldn't get the seatbelt, and it's like, real life bars like that work so well. So I was just. When I mentioned it, I thought it was going to be a throwaway. Like, I wasn't going to use it because I thought someone has definitely said this before. But then when I was just trying to think of like who said it, I was like, I can't remember, and I've seen like a lot of battles, so I'm gonna just go with it. And yeah, that got a crazy reaction. I like that one.
Are you familiar with Rob Kellis or TPD?
Nah.
No, so basically he's a few battlers know him. Benny P knows him. He's like this sort of minor vlogger. He's got about 10,000 subs. He does mostly festival vlogs. He's a really cool guy actually, from Leeds, I think. And their unofficial mascot is San Pellegrino. That's why I asked. They always mention it. It's
no
like
way.
But shout out to TPD, Rob Kellis. Definitely go check out that show as well. But yeah, I mean the second just continues in that fashion. I did think your Truman Show bar could have been a little harder. Again, it just wasn't that specific. Like wants all eyes on him.
Yeah, it was kind of like when I wrote that, like that's one of the bars that I think I could have done a bit better with it. It was just because obviously everyone watches him like obviously in the film, do you know what I mean? And that's all what it is, like it's the Truman, and it's just because like I'm multi like Truman Show with choosing clothes, like he wants all eyes on him, and looking back I could have maybe it was kind of the thing with that bar, it's a mix between lightheartedness and almost trying to do a hard bar, so it's kind of stuck in the middle of which one do you want it to be. And I think that's where the bar's been let down. Like I should have either penned it a lot better, like a full-on punchline, like you know you're begging to be watched kind of thing like that. Obviously I couldn't really use a Truman Show for that because obviously he doesn't really know. But yeah, anyway, like with that, yeah, I agree with you for that one. I think it was just kind of stuck in the middle of what kind of bar it wanted to be, whether it was like a joke or a punch kind of thing. But yeah.
Can't revive the old style. Why can't LSC? Is great.
That bar gave me a bit of issues because it didn't really go off. And thinking about it, I should have scrapped it. All it was the brand LSE. Like obviously back in the day, people thought they were trash and all that kind of shit. And then the style got brought back recently, a bit like Fila did, a bit like Kappa did. Like people just get about wearing that now, and it's kind of like you revive the old style and it worked. And that's all it was. And it was just one of those punches where I got fixated on trying to work it too much. And I don't get me wrong, I think it's a nice bar, but it's not that hard compared to like the rest of the shit. It was just one of those where I wanted to mention it, and when I got LSDean, like that was one of the first things I thought of, like, oh yeah, I'm going to mention this brand. And because it was just in the notes for so long, I felt like I had to try and do it justice and write a bar. I need to just learn when to kind of like, okay, yeah, this punchline is not going to work. Let me fucking scrap it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I dropped that.
Yeah, you talk about him saying he wanted to fight you. If we heard Dean swinging, it's Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, basically that's obviously Dean never like he said he. I don't know if people have seen it, but like Dean dropped a diss track on like Facebook, on the forum to promo the battle, and Dean's nice on beat. And and he just had a thing like the whole like fighting or some shit like that. So I thought, yeah, I'll just mention it. And then obviously like Dean swinging it's with Frank Sinatra. So I like that bar, to be fair. That's one. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah. And Dean spends a lot of his second quoting you. The Venom bar comes up. The Neversoft bar comes up. He kind of puts his own spin on the video game idea. I guess again here it's just some of the bars I think are just slightly maybe unfinished. Where he's like one arm swinging, would have thought twerk was coming the way I shook his pride. I think it just needs a bit more there. Yeah,
definitely. I think the thing is, Dean can sell bars very, very well. Like and sometimes with that, it doesn't matter if the pen like this is the thing, and this is why I'm so excited for it to drop today, because obviously you're a super like dope battlehead. You understand like craftsmanship and stuff like that, but not a lot of these fans do, and a lot of these fans are like, oh shit, he mentioned twerk or whatever, like and he's delivered it in an aggressive way. It must be dope because you sell it, and I ain't mad at that. Like because I'm not gonna come here and say, oh, I beat Dean because my pen was better or anything like that. At the end of the day, he sold his bars better than I did some of mine, and that's just what it's about. But you spot on, like back on cam when you actually dissect the battle, as it were, and it's kind of like, how is that working, or that could have been better and stuff. But I remember Dean saying he had the most words written for me than he had for anyone else, and I think he just wanted to put as much shit in there as possible. So maybe that's why it comes across. The only thing I will mention, like I mentioned it before, like earlier on in the episode, was the weird thing that happens in battle. So do you know at the end of my second where I said like you got an American dream on these dusty roads?
Yep.
Well, Dean also has a Dusty Roads bar in the battle somewhere. I don't know what his thing is. And me and Dean were speaking about this, and it's like, it's so weird sometimes in battle rap. Like, when was fucking Dusty Roads in the news recently or anything like that? Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's weird, like, how you think of something, and then suddenly the other person says it as well. It's like, on the Academy event, the tryout event, fucking literally like 5-6 people had Prison Break bars, and it's like, when was Prison Break in the media recently?
I got the blueprint for the body, like
yeah, exactly, like Michael Scofield, I believe it was. Like, I think that's ellipsis in there. I think
is that right? Like that. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, blueprint for the body, like Michael. Yeah,
yeah, it's like Tony versus Yunnan. They both had a retire bar within like a round of each other. You know,
it's crazy, and it's just like, and I don't know how it works. It must be something to do with brains and shit going on.
Yeah, I'm
that's
sure
like, I don't
know,
some trippy shit. Anyway, it's something like Sean O'Mac should speak about on his podcast.
Sean O'Mac should multi about it on a beat, and I'm sure.
Yeah, literally. Shout out Sean O'Mac.
Yeah, Sean, great BRR episode, and I like the LSDean sort of clowns TV bars where he talks that daytime TV shit. You will escape to the country and I'm hunting homes.
Yeah, that's dope. That's fucking dope.
Love that.
Because a lot of people, like, you probably know, like, a lot of my shit is just fucking TV references. Like, I just watch like a lot of TV, and like I just know shit like so for the next battle, I've got a few shit in there, like obviously if it goes down. But yeah, just TV bars, TV and film references, man. That's just my shit. I just spit about shit I know about. I don't try and get too technical or read up on other shit. I'll just like, okay, what do I know about this already? All right, cool. That can apply to this. But yeah, he clowned me for the TV bars, to be fair. So yeah.
Yeah, and you flip the emo stuff. They hate opening up. About him, being first on the card, which is nice. We get a Game Boy screen. Can't see you when the sun's out.
Yo, that's crazy. Like that. Actually, I keep going on about these. One of my favorite bars. Like literally for the Dean battle, I had so much dope shit. But yeah, like you like the Game Boy screen. We can't see you when the sun's out. Like that's crazy to me. Like I thought like I thought that was dope. The bar before it as well. What pissed me off? Was, not pissed me off, but like I had a bar that was like, people say you got fire. I don't see it when the round starts. If I see a goth kid smoking, then I've been watching South Park. And there was a kid at the front of the fucking crowd with a South Park t-shirt on who didn't even react. I was like, bro, you're supposed to be fucking supporting the South Park culture here, man. Fucking react to my shit. But yeah, that's just a little side note on if you're wearing merch to things, and just react to bars, innit?
Dean, never been ahead in any department.
Yeah, that's dope. Like, I think I was trying to work like, have you seen Community before?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, Community is obviously like the Dean in that, and I was gonna put like a community bar in, but I thought I don't know if Community is that well watched.
Quite niche, I think, yeah, for battle rap.
Yeah, so that's why I thought Dean. And then the more like I thought about it, I thought Dean. Well, the Dean's like ahead of something, so I thought so that's why it was like, how is your name Dean when you've never been ahead in any department? And I thought that bar was just so well crafted. Like I thought that was very, very good.
And you dig into something. I guess you're kind of tapping into new ground to a certain extent in battle rap with the sort of SoundCloud archetype rapper to attack. It's not really been mentioned too much, at least in UK battle rap. Him looking up to rappers with Lil in their name and face tats. And it's still vintage Major though, because you tie it up with a Rayman bar. Downfall came from staying on the cloud too long.
Yeah, that's what I mean, bro. Like, what I mean. These people, like, you appreciate these crazy references. Do you know what I mean? That I feel I should have done more with the SoundCloud thing, because I think my only stumble in that battle was when I got reaction to you look up to guys with Lil in the name and face tats, and I didn't expect that to get reaction, so it threw me off. And then I was like, shit, what bar was I on? Obviously, I brought it back quite fast, so it was cool. But yeah, I feel like, thanks Johnny as well. He said he loves the Red Dead bar. Nice one, dude. I feel like I should have done more on that with the SoundCloud thing. Like I should have maybe done more on that.
You're in and out with it, and it works. And have you heard of Dago DeVarlo, the battler?
Nah.
Okay, so he's on iBattle. I've had him on the show. He's really underviewed, but he's an incredible sort of pop culture puncher, a bit like yourself. I think you'd really enjoy him. I'll send you
what's the do? Yeah.
I'll send you a few battles afterwards. Definitely, yeah. He's. I mean, for anyone listening, him versus Collie C and Greedy Grimes and Jay Worth are all crazy good battles. But he battled Reverse Live as well quite recently. But he had a Rayman bar as well, so it just made me sort of think of that. But you go on again, kind of into more wider drug regions. Fucking Junkie even took the substance out of your music.
Yeah, that was just supposed to be like, okay, this is just a bar, do you know what I mean? Like that wasn't supposed to get some crazy mad reaction, and the fucking crowd loved it. And I think it's just the way I delivered it, and it's just so simple. Like that's all it was. Like you just took the substance out of your music, like, and it wasn't even nothing crazy like or anything like that. But yeah, the crowd just loved it, and then this is why battle rap, even though like I'm 5 battles deep now, it's still so hard to gauge like what will go off and what won't. Because to me, in my eyes, I thought, yeah, like I might get like a little bit of reaction off it, but I didn't. That got like a really big reaction, and I was like, that's so strange compared to other shit in the rounds that didn't go off. So yeah, it's just odd. Like I dropped the Red Dead bar too. No one really reacted to the Red Dead bar. I thought, okay. Well, fuck you guys, you know. I thought everyone had played Red Dead by then, like, do you know what I mean? But, yeah, my friends, same thing with the Smash Bros. Bar. My friends came after, like, yo, that Red Dead bar was crazy. Why was no one reacting? I was like, man, you just don't get it, man.
No. And we get into Dean's third, which, you know, rightly so, is celebrated, and in most people's opinion is what sort of wins in the battle, and it is a great round. Flips again with the emo shit ending tragically. Never tried to kill myself, you said. Why'd you agree to battle me?
Yeah, that's a dope flip, to be fair. That's a dope bar. To touch on, I don't know if you're going to touch on it. Do you have anything written about the the dad bar in that? About my dad didn't see my first steps?
I do. I mean, we just need to get to the Twitch stuff first.
Oh, okay, yeah, no worries, man.
I mean, you're on Twitch, right?
Yeah, I stream on Twitch, man. Twitch.tv/Major Concerns. Basically,
but you mostly do gambling, is that right?
Yeah, all it is just slots. Like all I do is play like slots online, so I do a bit of gambling, maybe some blackjack every now and then. But yeah, that's all it is, man. I just go on Twitch, play some slots. It's got a great community, slots like gambling. It's a very niche community, and I thought it's something I love to do anyway off stream, so I thought I may as well incorporate it on stream. I did used to stream games, but the issue with streaming games is, as you probably understand, with the rise of people like Ninja and Tfue, like all these crazy Twitch streamers, they literally have all of the population of Twitch nearly watching them, and it's so hard to break into that community. So I thought, well, there's no point in wasting my time doing this and getting, you know, like a few views. With Twitch, like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but like at some points I'll have like, you know, 10, 15 people watching me live, and for that, like, just for like a small like streamer like me, it's crazy. Like, but what I really need to get better at doing is I need to start doing compilation videos for YouTube. I've got all the editing software and stuff. I'm just so lazy when it comes to like doing it, but it is hard because my whole brand is like obviously the battle rap stuff, and then I have like a few people who watch like my streams who obviously watch battle rap and stuff. So they'll come in and be like, it's crazy, like my 2 favorite things are like playing slots and fucking battle rap, so it's like you cater to both. But I just, next year with the whole Pride stuff, and I know that I'm going to really get like a lot of push, and a lot of more people are going to know who I am by the end of this year and stuff. I just don't know whether to like incorporate the brands together or try and keep them separate. That's just what I'm trying to work out. But yeah, the Twitch angle he took was very, very good, actually, because no one had really touched on it before. So he'd done his research and shit.
Exactly.
So,
There's a lot of millennial angles in this, the Twitch angle, the SoundCloud rapper angle, you know, sort of emo idea as well. And yeah, the Twitch is mentioned. You asked your top 3 and you said PewDiePie.
That made me laugh so much because I thought, that made me fucking crease. Like, from now that I know Dean fucking hates PewDiePie as well, like, I think his videos are pretty funny, but like, that's just me, and that's why I laughed so much. I was like, my boy was in the crowd as well, who watches like he watches PewDiePie as well, and I just said to him after, I was like, yo, that was fucking funny, wasn't it? Like, yeah, he sold it really well. I shouldn't have laughed. Like, I shouldn't have laughed because I think the crowd just followed suit and I started laughing, but to me that was just fucking funny. Like, he did that very, very well.
Yeah, he did, and you know, the bar everyone kind of predicted, but he sort of wrote it a little better than people would have generally done. Talking, you know, if I win, I'm doing X. If you win, you're doing Y. Fortnite binge. You're buying every Fortnite skin. I mean, I just thought it was going to be Fortnite binge again, but.
Yeah, dope bar. Like, I don't even play Fortnite. Do you know what I mean? That's why. But it doesn't matter. Like, this what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Like, he sold that so well and stuff, and because of the whole Twitch streaming stuff, people would automatically think, oh, he plays Fortnite and stream, and it was just a perfect thing to do. Like, because of all the shit that I drop, all the gaming references, the pop culture references, as it were, like, it just made sense for him to drop it. So yeah, he did that very well. Like I said, his third was crazy.
His third was crazy. I mean, really, we get to the dad bars. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I think it's a dope bar. I think it's written well, but I personally don't think it deserved the reaction it got.
And it's nothing to do with you.
Exactly. This is the thing, and I spoke to Flawless about this after and in the post-battle interview. Nothing against Dean. Dean knows I rate him highly and stuff, but it's a struggle bar. All it is like, okay, your dad's come to your first battle, my dad didn't see my first steps. What does that have to do with me? Like, why is that my fault? Like, why is that why is that a diss at me or whatever? And the crowd fucking loved it. So, but that's the thing. Like, when you're a smart battler like Dean, you know shit that you can drop like that, and the crowd will fucking react to it. And you know, it's very similar to iKids. You know, I've had to drive like thousands of miles to come battle. It's like, but why? What does that have to do with me? And that's what I'm not obviously asked for people reacting. You react to what you like, and I think it was done very well. But personally, it has nothing to do with me. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't even like a diss at my dad. It was just like a diss at his own dad. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like that's all it was. But obviously the crowd loved it, and that's why just after like. Flawless was like, I don't really rate struggle bars either. Like I love a direct battler. Like I love someone who can be so direct over, you know, like 390s, because it's a lot. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but I mean, crowd loved it and stuff. So no fucking shots at Dean for dropping it.
It was appealing to those baser instincts. I think it was a very populist round from.
It was like the whole Gem Soul battle. This is why I remember having Soul take in the battle, because Gem's whole third round, wasn't it something about he had to bring up his goddaughter or something like that?
Yeah,
it's like,
he had like a court case or something.
Yeah, it's like, well, why is that Soul's fault? Like, Soul's not fucking giving you this kid to take care of. It's like, I've not fucking told your dad not to come to your first battle or whatever. It's just shit. Like, I like a direct battle, and for me, it just wasn't direct at all. But it was one of the hardest bars people were like going on about. But like I said, after like speaking to Flawless was like, you know, he doesn't rate struggle bars either, and I guess it's just who you can relate to, man. It's just like me, I won't really understand that, do you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna fucking think it's dope, but there might have been people in the crowd who can relate to it and stuff. So it really is just what kind of audience you touch and stuff. But personally, I just don't think it was super direct, and like I said, it was nothing against me. So
no, and we come with some appeals to the crowd, some Manchester scheme here, better rush home,
or give it a long side. Yeah, I said to D, I didn't rate that personally. No. I thought that had been. I thought people like were like, oh, I thought that was good, you know, dropping Manchester things, and I just thought nah, because I could have had a bar like, oh, I'm at Dean's Gate or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, and thinking about it, it's like, yo, I didn't think people would want to react to that, like rush home. It's like I described it as the equivalent of like doing a scheme with battlers on the card. So do you know what I mean? Like,
sure, yeah.
Like, I just fucking hate that
Tony
shit.
Does that versus Raptor, and it's a sign you've just ran out of ideas. Like,
yeah, it's like, yo, I get, obviously I'm from Manchester, do you know what I mean? But it's just one of those kind of things. So, but yeah, he obviously went for that.
And we get some gun bars as well. And I guess the problem is it's aping the you know, before the shot, after the shot, and it just doesn't.
Oh, the whole before the shot major C, after the yeah. I thought that could have been better.
I mean, I've got you winning, man. I think obviously it's quite clear that I have you winning. When this episode drops properly, the battle would have been out for a few weeks. So let us know if you've digested the battle down. You know, let us know in the comments what you think. I think it is going to be quite divisive, really. Are you still of the thing that Dean won, in your opinion?
I need to watch it. Like I said, it drops in like half an hour, done it. So I'm going to watch it. I'm going to give it a full watch. But like, I remember speaking to my dad about it, and my dad was like, after the battle, like, everyone pretty much apart from you and fucking Crumpet, who said that I won and stuff. Obviously, guys I respect in the scene, you know, with a vast battle knowledge, you know what I mean, of, you know, people whose opinions obviously mean more than everyone else's, really. So technically, I did win the battle if Crumpet said I won the battle. But yeah, with that, like, after the battle, I remember everyone was saying like that they thought Dean won. Obviously, a few heads were saying I won, which is cool. But then I spoke to my dad about it, and he's like, he's watched it back a few times on the pay-per-view, and he's saying the same as you. Like, I've personally got you winning going into the third round, so it's really down on how you judge a battle. I really hope it's debatable, though. Like, you know, I don't think by any means I got bodied if people say Dean won, and, you know, I'm happy that he did win. Like, I said this to him before, like, with him picking Sharks and stuff, like, Dean's music, like, I really enjoy Dean's music. Like, he's a dope musician, and having that kind of being on Sharks, he's got the link with Shotty now and the music and stuff, so I feel like he can really get his music pushed, whereas me, because I don't rap or because I don't make music, I don't really have anything to push apart from a fucking Twitch stream, which it'll be good if I can get a few viewers out of battle rap, but that's kind of just separate. So yeah, I'm personally not mad at anyone saying I lost, even if people have got Dean winning 3-0 or whatever, even if people say it's a body or whatever. Like, I really do think like it is a classic, and I don't usually throw that word around a lot, but for two new battlers, like obviously I'm not saying Dean's new, but for two battlers to come out of the academy and stuff like that and then put on a show like that on a huge stage in a sold out venue, you know, with the likes of like obviously like Mike P, Sol Ilmac on a card and not look out of place, to me, like that's an achievement in itself. So I'm just happy with how it went.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I did a countdown, I think, I'm sure you saw it recently, my top 10 battles of the year. And I had this there, man. I really, really love this battle, and I think both of you really showed out. So, just briefly before we wrap up, what's 2019 looking like for you?
So, I'm assuming this is going to be out. Briggs could talk on it. So, obviously, I've signed to Pride. I'm supposed to be on the next match day card. My issue is I'm supposed to be battling Terminal on that card. Terminal's agreed to battle it. Me and Terminal. Terminal said he wants to battle me. I want to battle Terminal. Everything's supposed to be cool. But yeah, apparently the dude like no-showed like Rap is Full. The other day, I think he was against Johnny Darko.
Yes, that's right.
So basically, Briggs then messaged me saying he doesn't know what's going on with Terminal, and I'm pretty like I've already started writing. Do you know what I mean? I've already got like quite a bit written for this guy. So if it doesn't go ahead, I'm be pretty disappointed just because me and Terminal would be a dope battle. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on that card either way. But I just don't know who I've got. I've told Briggs is trying to sort it because obviously they're obviously eager to obviously drop the card, obviously so people can get the tickets and all that kind of shit. So yeah, it's just really like kind of waiting kind of to see kind of what happens with it. I hope it does go ahead. I hope maybe it was just like a little thing with Rap is Full. Like I said to Briggs, I said Premier Battles have always looked after him. They gave him like dialect and shit, which is a huge opportunity. I've seen him in the past say he wants to battle me, so it's not like a battle. He's kind of like, oh, I don't really want to do it, I guess. But you don't know what someone's head's at, do you know what I mean? So we'll just see what happens. But hopefully, yeah, you'll see me on the card. Obviously, shout out Pride. Yeah, we're just looking to take off this year, man. We got the Tok signing. We've got obviously Bobby staying, Jay Short. We got Real Deal secured. Like our team's looking crazy.
Yeah, right? The season 2 of Premier Battles is looking insane. It's so exciting.
Legit, we're gonna really put gas on it this year. Like our team like is really capable of fucking winning this easily.
Would you battle on other platforms in 2019?
Yeah, like I'm open to it. I'm fully open to battling, but to be fair, like no one's approached me. Like actually, shout out Tori. Tori would have got me on the 0-3 card, but I said like I didn't want to do it just because I was focusing on the academy. But it really depends. Like Premier Battles have really given me a plate. Like the other person that I might be battling is still like a really good name. So either way, whoever I get on that card is going to be dope. And like I said, it works both ways with promoters. I'm never going to like message a promoter or a league like, oh shit, like, you know, can you give me a battle on this card? Personally, I think, you know, if you're a promoter, you should know who's up and coming and who's about, and you know, obviously go to look to obviously get them on cards. But like I said, man, no one's really approached me apart from Snoop, obviously did for the PG card. So I'm happy with Premier Battles if no one else wants to shout me. But yeah, obviously I would be open to it. It's just kind of what depends with Premier Battles. Obviously, I don't really want to let the team down and, like I said, take multiple battles. I really want to battle overseas, though. I'd love to touch Rap is Full. Like, Rap is Full, they might be having, like, a card in, like, Amsterdam this year. So I spoke to Rory about that. Rory's gonna see what's going on with that, and hopefully I can get on that. But yeah, I'd love to go overseas, man. It just depends what happens. It just depends if I can just keep getting this momentum going and hopefully establish a bit of a fan base.
So just before we get to the final questions, we'll go through the live chat as well. Thank you to everyone that's been listening on the live. Of course, subscribe to the channel. We try and go live with pretty much every episode, so you can come in the chat as well. Patreon, iTunes, all that stuff. I realise I haven't really shouted out the Twitter or anything like that, but this has been it's been a dope chat, man. So the first question comes from Lewis Anthony. He says, "You versus Lazy would be fire."
Yeah, I appreciate Lazy. I think Lazy's a dope writer. I think from what I've read in the update thread, he got beat on the Rap is Full card. I can't remember who he was even facing. He was battling on the Rap is Full card, but he lost on that apparently. Yeah, Lazy's dope. I'm still waiting to see Lazy versus Terminal, actually. I think I watched it on the pay-per-view. Was that on the... What card was that on?
That was on 0-3,
yeah. Actually, I have seen that. Yeah, I just appreciate... Like I said, I appreciate a guy who can pen, and, you know, he's always seemed sound and stuff. So, yeah, me versus Lazy would be a dope battle. It just depends what happens with Premier Battles. He's been signed to... What team is he on? Is he on, like, Wolfpack or something like that, maybe?
Yes, he is. Yeah, I think he is.
Oh, yeah, Wolfpack.
Oh, no, he's on Knights, right?
Oh, is he on Knights with D-Mac?
Yeah,
Knights, his team's looking heavy. Like D-Mac, Lazy, Acre, crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like all these people.
Yeah, they're a cool team. They're a really cool team.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, me versus Lazy would be dope for sure.
Dean in the comments, Dean asking, Major, who we cooking in a 2-on-2?
Anyone you want, bro. Anyone you want. No, they ain't ready for this. Because I was thinking, me and Dean spoke a little bit, not loads, but we spoke a little bit about the whole doing the dub 2-on-2 thing. And I think that's a dope concept, but it's just committing with Premier Battles. Like, I don't expect to be on every single card. Like, obviously, each member of the team's got to get a slice of action so they can prove themselves for the All-Star. But it just depends what clashes. Like I said, I'm not super eager to battle, and I'm not the type of person that wants, like, a battle after the next one. Like, I'm buzzing to battle, like, on the next card. Like, I'm excited for it. But if they said, you know, we don't want you to battle on this card, wait until the next one, I'd be cool with that, and I wouldn't be looking for any battles to kind of fill that place in the meantime. It just depends. Like, if we got a good opportunity for a 2-on-2 on an established league or whatever, then yeah, I'd fully be down to partner with Dean, because me and him can write together. Like, it's so crazy. Like, we can just finish, like, the punches for each other in the setups. Like, we're just so good at, like, critiquing each other's shit, man. It's mad.
Hats 2012 asking, what does Major think about what Sol said, that there isn't a platform for newcomers to become top tier? Does he think that he could compete against a Quill or a Chris Lees?
That's a dope question. It's hard. Like, I think there's a platform to become an established battler for sure with the academy, and if you treat your tryouts right and you show out and stuff, then there's definitely platforms. But I think the point he was making about the top tier was, like, with Premier Battles you could really battle anyone, but would the fans and people like that really be okay with me getting Quill or Chris Lees this early on? Do you know what I mean? And I think the Premier Battles is a dope idea, and I'm so buzzing to be a part of it. But it's crazy because, like, someone like Knights, a lot of obviously, like, new people, like, I'm not, like, obviously Acre deserves a plate, but, like, Lazy, like, DMAC, for example, like, you know, if Knights and Sharks face, does DMAC really then deserve to get fucking, you know, Chris Lees or Soul or whatever? And it's the same for me, like, when Pride and when Sharks, when we battle and stuff, it's just the whole deserving thing. Like, at the moment, like, Quill and Chris Lees are, like, I'd say, like, are levels ahead of me. Don't get me wrong, I'd turn up and give them the best 3 rounds I could give them and stuff, but they are very, very good battlers, and they've got that from experience from doing so many, and I think that's just what it's all about. Like, it's just changed a bit now. Like, when now would we see, like, Soul with the potential of battling someone else in the league who isn't really on his level? Like, they say, like, who's left for Soul to battle? Like, obviously, like, Saurus and Respect and stuff like that, but you know, with these littler people in the league like myself and stuff, there is potential there for me to get thrown against
DMAC, that might go down.
Yeah, exactly, like, and you know, but in their eyes, they might be thinking, oh, well, you know, DMAC doesn't deserve Soul, but then, and Soul might be saying the same thing, but if he's in the team, exactly, and that's just what Premier Battles is about, it's kind of good in a way for, like, new people like myself, because
it's kind of tier breaking, isn't it?
Exactly, it definitely is, because now it's not like, okay, I need to beat fucking everyone's Souls beaten before I get to Soul. It's like, okay, well, we get drawn in the pick or whatever like that, and they think, you know, they want to give me Soul, and they give me Soul, and Soul can't really say no, I guess. I mean, obviously he could, but obviously with him being part of the league. So yeah, it's a tough one, man. I just like the next battle I got, like Terminal, for example, like if that goes ahead and shit, like he's a dope battler already, and like people want to see me versus him and stuff, but he's already got a decent resume behind him. Have I really done enough to deserve these names? And they've thrown me in with the huge names, so I think everyone I get to battle this year, like a lot of fans will be saying I don't really think he deserves him yet, but like you said, it is tear breaking, and it's just the way the league works, and I think it's a dope idea because we can see matchups now we wouldn't usually see. So
okay, so the first quickfire question: which is your favourite Don't Flop battle?
Oh, Don't Flop battle. That's a really good one. You know what I really love? I really love fucking. I've got so many. Jonai Raptor's dope. Like, I really like that. Soul versus Yunnan's dope on that, you know, like the one rounder stuff. Like,
yes,
I fucking love that when he breaks him down and stuff like that. Soul Yunnan's defo up there, man. Chris Def versus Tony D. That's a dope battle. Yeah. I remember being in the venue for that.
Oh, you were there for Distinction?
Yeah. I was at Distinction, man. I went. It was a 2-day event. It was like one in Leeds.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at Distinction. Yeah. Definition, man. I just love Def battles. I love Soul battles. Soul Raptors, another one. Soul Raptors, crazy. But I appreciate the old school ones, man. Like Bloodshore versus Lunacy.
Yeah.
It's just shit like that. But yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. I've got like an abundance of don't flop battles that I like and shit. I really like Flex Digits as well. Flex Digits versus Ruby Kid. That's an old school.
That's I don't think I've seen that.
Yo, check that out, man. Flex Digits is dope in that. But yeah, a lot of old school ones, a lot of new ones, man. I just appreciate the way battle rap's kind of changed over the years, man.
And what about King of the Dot?
King of the Dot, man. King of the Dot. I love King of the Dot. I've not really been sleeping on it. I've not really been watching too much of it. Yeah. What's going on with the whole King of the Dot thing? Like, are they like they're not like folding on shit, are they? Like,
no.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Are there any battlers in particular, or?
There's a battle on King of the Dot. I love fucking Geechee versus Saint. That's on King of the Dot. That was in the bunker. That was fucking crazy. Like I said, got love for Ellipsis, Bender, obviously when I was there, like Saurus, like just loads of people, man. I like Cheddar Cheese and that, Carter Deems, loads of people. But yeah, King of the Dot, I've slept on it. Like, I went through a proper King of the Dot phase, like where I just watched like every single battle that had been uploaded, and now it's like I don't even think I'm subscribed to them on my YouTube and stuff. I should really like sort myself out for that, because I'd love to battle on King of the Dot. For me, King of the Dot are still a huge platform, but I don't know, man, with this whole merger thing and all that kind of shit. You could speak for hours about all the King of the Dot business, but
it's murky,
I just hope they bounce back, man. I hope this year, like, they really bounce back.
Yeah. URL.
URL battle, fucking, that's tough, man. I've got a lot of favourites on URL, man. Av versus Geechee, bro, that's crazy. Really fucking love Av. Av's really, really dope. Tay-Rock versus Hollow, that's fucking dope. Charlie Clips versus Hollow as well, that's dope.
Yeah.
With the whole when Hollow's like fucking you in the bed, like talking about, well, guess which room I'm in, like all that type of shit. Like, that's fucking crazy. Yeah,
it's
probably one of them.
That is, crazy.
Yeah, it's dope, man. I need to. The thing is with like battle rap, like it's weird. Like I'll watch like a fucking shitload of like Dub Scandal and like cringe battlers and stuff, but I just won't really pay attention to like the new shit that comes out. Like I watch all the Premier Battles uploads and stuff. But I just need to fix up, man. But like I said, it's hard, man. Like a lot of these guys are just rapping for ages, man. It's like you got to dedicate like an hour and a half out just to watching a battle. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Final two questions. Your favorite film?
Oh, favorite film, man. That's so hard. I love Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now.
The Redux.
Yeah, fucking love Blade Runner, the original. Yeah, probably Blade Runner, actually. I fucking love Blade Runner.
You know, that's funny. I had Stowaway on the last episode. He said Blade Runner as well.
Blade Runner's a dope film, man.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Blade Runner's a crap. I've got so many, like, good films that, like, it's hard to pinpoint them, but that, like, Taxi Driver's dope as well.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, shit like that. Like, I love like, luckily my dad's, like, a massive film head, so he's just put me on, like, so many fucking sick films and shit. So, love that.
What about your favourite musical artist or band that are in no way hip-hop related?
Oh, I don't really listen to hip-hop, so that's pretty easy. Okay. Probably, do you know who Blossoms are?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah, fucking love Blossoms. I've seen Blossoms so many times. Cortinas, Arctic Monkeys.
Right.
Sundra Karma, I love. Really into like Jerry Cinnamon at the minute. He's a guy from Scotland, he's dope. Yeah, literally, I don't listen to any hip-hop, really. Like, I listen to like Earl, like Schoolboy Q, basically TDE and shit like that. Like sometimes listen to Kendrick, but all my shit is just indie, man. Yeah, I fucking love Absol. I've got a t-shirt with Absol on, actually. Like
Control System is amazing.
Yeah, Control System's incredible.
That's probably his best, I'd say.
Yeah, Absol is very, very good. But yeah, most of those shit. But say probably favourite band of like all time would probably be Oasis. Like Oasis is like the band that I've stayed consistent like fucking with. Like I'll just go back and just listen to their albums through. Also got love for the Beats as well, though, man. Love the Beatles.
Me too.
Yeah, it's so easy, that question for me, because if you would have turned around and be like, yo, who's your favourite rapper? I'd be like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't really listen to like a lot of rap music. It's crazy. People find that mad that like because I rap battle, but I don't. Like I said, it's so far between like being a rapper and being a battler.
So how do people get at you? Your Twitch, Twitter, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, Twitter at Major Concerns, Facebook Major Concerns, but it's 2 R's, so it's Major like with 2 R's. Twitch Major Concerns. Like I said, shoot me a follow on Twitch and Twitter. That's probably like the main things I'm active on. I don't have Insta out like that. But yeah, definitely probably like Twitter, and obviously make sure you follow the Twitch, man. I'm really gonna put a lot of work into that this year.
And you can follow us as well at BattleRapResume. Patreon is there if you want to support, you want to give back episodes like this. Go on there first. We also have a dedicated RSS feed as well, so if you subscribe, you can download the episodes straight onto your phone. Leave us a review on iTunes. Thank you guys for listening. Subscribe, comment below as well. Major, this has been a treat, man. This has been like one of the longest episodes in ages, actually.
Oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
No, in a good way. No, that's the best thing, man. But
yeah, man, I just fucking, when you get me started on shit, I can just talk. But yeah, shout out Tom for fucking having me on. Pride or die, baby, all day, man. Watch us take the league this season. Easy.